Okay, let's try this again. This is a continuation. Alright, this is a continuation of the live last night. Yeah. We got through the debate, so we have up-to-date information that there's bomb threats in Jamaica. Unbelievable. But hopefully those are just something that's not even somebody I think about. Right, and I just can't think of the word right now. Somebody I play games. Serious games. So anyway, we're gonna watch the debate and break it down and give our advice perspective on this. So welcome wherever you are, whether you watch a replay or whatnot. So may I just start all the way over since last time we did have experienced stream error. Seems like everything's excellent, you know, so hopefully no buffering. So enjoy and let's see. Don't be scared to get in the live chat and challenge anything we say.
Good evening. Welcome to the final of 3 general election debates organized by the Jamaica Debates Commission, staged before a live studio audience. The debates are intended to assist in identifying, clarifying, and understanding the issues being presented in this.
So, clarifying issues, so put your feelings aside. Let's get this straight. Your advice is over here, so we're not affiliated to the PNP or JLP. So this is unbiased raw opinion. And if you live in a PNP era, I keep repeating it, and you have water, light, or any new infrastructure for the last 20 years, you should switch to the other party. Regardless whether you're PNP, you should not switch to JLP. If you're JLP, you should switch to PNP. You should about your issues, not affiliated and like no cult-like stuff, you know, them political party where we're gonna blind with trickery and low quality psychology. But let's go.
General election campaign. This evening's debate focuses on the leaders. Members of the panel of questioners are Dion Jackson Miller, Radio Jamaica 94 FM, and Giovanni Dennis, CVM TV. Taking and presenting questions from the public is our social media editor, Amoy Harriet, from CVM TV.
That's very good that in real time them take question from the public or whatever it's real time or not.
Your moderator, Archibald Gordon. As is customary, the audience is not to applaud the debaters except for now, after we announce each debater. Tonight, representing the People's National Party is party leader Mr. Mark Golding.
And we're introducing rubber number 1.
Representing the Jamaica Labour Party is party leader Dr. Andrew Holness.
And presenting rubber number 2.
The guidelines for tonight's debates have been previously agreed and are posted on the Debate Commission's website at www.jamaicadebatescommission.org. The guidelines include questions being no longer than 30 seconds, and each debater is allowed 90 seconds to respond to each question, and rebuttals are limited to 45 seconds. The questions posed in tonight's debate will come from 2 sources. The first source is you, the public. Send us your questions via direct message on Instagram.
I break down this debate like cocaine. Like bust it down like Peruvian cocaine. I love listening to you that artist saying about whites, right? Oh, no. We are going to bust whites onto Charlie Road. Uptown. Yeah, we are busting down like a pure whites.
Facebook, and TikTok to Jamaica Debates. These will be checked, selected, and asked by our...
All right, brother, moving forward. We are on this pan faster speed because we're going a long way tonight. Pause.
Social media editor. The second source of questions is from our panel of journalists. Questions are not influenced by the Jamaica Debates Commission in any way. Our sign language interpreters tonight are Dorothy Williams and Terry-Ann Bernard from the Caribbean Christian Center for the Deaf. Based on a previous coin toss, our first question tonight comes from Dion Jackson Miller of the RJR Group, and it will be directed to Dr. Andrew Holness.
Dr. Holness, government members have recommended taking the Auditor General off the Integrity Commission. There have been changes made by your administration to the Office of Political Ombudsman that have virtually destroyed its effectiveness as a check on the behavior of politicians. And there have been constant attacks by members of your administration on the Integrity Commission and on media and civil society groups that criticize your administration. Shouldn't Jamaicans be concerned about what appears to be a pattern by your administration of undermining oversight bodies in the public sector, civil society, and media?
There is absolutely no attempt by my administration, and indeed myself, to undermine any oversight body. Indeed, we have acted to strengthen and make them far more efficient. In placing the oversight of the political ombudsman under the office of the Electoral Commission, that's a move to strengthen and give it far more institutional framework. I myself have been very complimentary and acted in a very dignified way as it relates to the Integrity Commission.
Run your bank account files.
Mr. Golding will have the opportunity to respond.
There has been a definite pattern of hostility from the Jamaica Labour Party government towards the institutions mentioned in the question, in particular the Integrity Commission, largely because it is well known that there are at least 10 members of Parliament who are under investigation for illicit enrichment, a serious corruption offence.
So how long them investigation are going to take? And do people get update? We all know who of them are robber. And that's who can rob it best.
Of which the only one to be known is the one for whom a report has been completed and sent to the Parliament, which is you, Andrew. As a result of that, they have done their very best to try to neuter that critical institution, including the Prime Minister bringing that institution to court to undermine its effectiveness and indeed eliminate it entirely.
Our next question comes from Giovanni Dennis, and it goes to Mr. Mark Golding.
Mr. Golding, Keith Duncan says the PNP's proposal to increase the income tax threshold to 3.5 million is impractical and impossible to fund without new taxes. Can you explain how these planned tax breaks will work without hurting the economy?
The context in which we have decided to increase the threshold.
Again, like I said last night, 3 million. How much people make 3 million a year? You know, push out this number. If people have low wages and now hardly make above minimum wage, does these fucking tax break even make sense? These are the questions that we need for asking ourselves.
Threshold to 3.5 million is the hollowing out of the middle class in this country. Working families finding it extremely difficult to make ends meet. And we believe with the debt to GDP ratio having now, after 13 and a half years of belt tightening and austerity, having now reached the cusp of the target of 60% of GDP introduced into the fiscal rules in law under Portia Simpson Miller, this is a time, this year it's expected to actually, with the readjustment of the definition and calculation of GDP, this is the year that we expect to achieve that target. That will release 2.5% to 3% of GDP of additional resources, which were not previously budgeted for in the fiscal policy paper. That is more than sufficient to pay for our entire program, including the $3.5 million increase to $3.5 million of the tax threshold.
You see, them one thing you notice them not tell you what percentage of Jamaican is working $3.5 million a year. Can we find? Let me see if we can find a
threshold. We should make our civil servants and our middle managers, and indeed most of Jamaicans who are presently suffering under the high burden of the cost of living, have money that they can spend. They can fix up their homes, extend their homes with a room, buy a car if they don't have one, pay down debt where they may be in arrears. It is necessary to preserve the country from brain drain and to keep the society intact.
Dr. Holness now has the opportunity to respond.
The hollowing out of the middle class is an act of the PNP. They totally decimated the middle class. It is the Jamaica Labour Party that introduced the increase in the non-tax threshold that recreated a middle class in Jamaica. In fact, when you look at the salary profile of PAYE contributors, you would see that their salaries have all risen. It is the Jamaica Labour Party, through the compensation review, that has increased salaries by over 200 billion Jamaican dollars for public sector workers. The current proposal of the PNP is unworkable.
All right, so what does that say? I'm going to try to find some data. Average Jamaican salary. Average Jamaican monthly salary. Let me bring this up on the screen because we're not taking no idiotness over here. So this ain't the average YouTube channel. Okay. Average Jamaican salary by month. Chief Executive Officer 300,000. These are in Jamaican dollars, by the way. So let's go down to what we can consider middle class. And we'll look for lower class. Let's start from the bottom. A tailor. We'll put up calculator too. It's a channel of people them who have time and have constructive thinking. You know, in no rush, you don't have TikTok brain. They say we have brought this down like pure cocaine. 47,000. 400. 47. 485 times 12. That's $500,000 Jamaican. Them tax break, they sound like it will benefit no tailor. Do they say they should pay no taxes? That would make sense. Let's go up further. Laborer, everybody know Jamaica full of laborer. Me do a video how them rob you too when you build a house in Jamaica. 51,650. 12 months a year. 600,000. Packer, I make more. Closing technology, fabric cutter, bank cashier, 53,000. Alright, see, so when you get up to the white collar, probably high society people in Jamaica now. So let's see how much one IT man in Jamaica for a year. 196,027. Right? Times 12. $2.3 million. So your IT manager, your technical director, you know them the type where probably I live in a gated community because that I flexing in Jamaica or drive on BMW or I don't know where them class people I drive. Somebody tell me in that chat, but I don't get the idea. These tax breaks ain't helping you. We're working at a grocery store, supermarket, taxi driver, all these people.
It's now time for a question from social media. We're going to Amoy Harriet.
Thanks, Archie. Our first social media question tonight comes from Instagram. Shania in Kingston. She says, low voter turnout of a democratic society.
That was me. That was TVJ.
Many Jamaicans refuse to vote because...
All right, TVJ, get with the
bank
program.
account that your company...
I am the politician who can do no corruption. There have been no charges. Every aspect.
Not because there's no charge. If you sit down an investigation, that don't mean say you did that now, Rob. Fuck you mean?
Of my report, every aspect of my personal life and my personal financial details are in the public domain.
Did you disclose bank accounts? What you mean by in a public domain? See, these people use word semantics and trick people.
I am the politician about which Jamaica knows the most. And therefore, I am the politician who can stand with the greatest moral authority to treat with any
Hey, none of your politicians have no morals. You want to just a line on the pocket.
matter that is considered corrupt, as I have done in the past. And I want to give this assurance to the Jamaican people that you know me, you know about me.
No, they don't know you. They know of you. They know what they see on TV of you. Don't use the word semantics. Me here to break down the psychological bullshit.
You can trust me.
No, they cannot. You have 51 million US. How much you give to charity? What you doing in Jamaica out of your one pocket? What did he do out of his own pocket for Jamaica?
And you know that I stand against corruption.
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond to that social media question as well. Within
Andrew, what they know about you is that you have 28 bank accounts, that you received several $1 million
What about you? Where you're dirt there?
in cash deposits from anonymous donors in your bank account, that your companies had transactions of over $400 million, several thousand transactions between them, and that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit which you are intimately connected with, provided resources which you use for personal investments through your personal company. We have...
And don't get it crazy Jamaicans, people. All of them guys are them hang out at SCM golf course, then go eat the CM steakhouse, and smoke a CM cigar. All of them are bridging. Don't get it fucked up.
Signed the Leadership Code of Conduct developed by Integrity Commission. All of our spokespersons and myself have signed. None of your people have signed it. I am committed to ensuring that all members of the executive, when we form government, will have their Integrity Commission declarations published, not just the leader of the opposition and what...
Hit the like button there and send out the conversation if you're not alive. Yeah, we need more people to challenge me too.
Should happen, but hasn't happened in your case because you're not certified, the Prime Minister. So the whole question that has been asked is an excellent question. And we really need to step up our vigilance against corrupt behavior, nepotism and cronyism. The volume of scandals under this Jamaica Labour Party government is unprecedented. Over the number of ministers who have had to be removed from frontline duty, many of them parked in the naughty corner in OPM rather than being sacked.
What's the naughty corner?
It is a disgrace to the country, and your personal situation where you're operating under a deep cloud because your Integrity Commission declarations are not certified also is something which Jamaica cannot go forward with.
We'll now take a short break and we invite you to stay tuned.
Alright, we're up on the breaking over here, so let's go keep it running.
Because
As I see on the screen, it look like based on the TVJ poll, he was deadlock in the live chat with 5,000 people vote. It's a 50-50 deadlock. So this election, it look like it's going to be a dead heat, and we're going to have to stream it live. Going to be a marathon live the day.
several people have been taking issue with your numbers. The PNP's assertion that it can fund the proposal through projected revenue growth doesn't seem to take into, as well as organic revenue growth, doesn't seem to take into account increase in expenditure. That's also projected, as well as low growth rates that no government in recent years has managed to overcome. Isn't it true that your numbers just don't add up?
The fiscal policy paper does project over the next 3 years some $160 billion of additional revenue. The degree to which...
As Mr. Lance said, you know, we're not here no taxes go up on them corporations. Yeah. We don't hear taxes go up on hotels and them sitting there. Oh yeah, this year the hotel tax is in our international companies. Taxes will be going up 20%, going up by 5%. Yes, so Trump hit people with tariff and it make US money. But we know you're not more for them tariff. And be a poor people mental tax break where not benefit nobody them at all.
There are company expenses will depend on how we manage the expense side of the budget. There's also the fact that there are $360 billion of programs in the budget that represent the priorities of a given government at a particular point in time.
That's about 2 million US people. That is peanuts.
When we are elected, we're not going to be elected to maintain the current trajectory that Jamaica is on. People want to see change, And most fundamentally, the issue really is the fact that we are coming to the end of the period of austerity, the period where Jamaica has been for 13 and a half years, steadfastly paying down debt. So that the debt to GDP ratio, which we inherited at 147% of GDP at the beginning of 2012, is now, in this fiscal year, projected to achieve the target of 60% of GDP. Once that happens, we no longer have to reduce debt as a priority. We just have to maintain that debt profile. That will release resources of 2.5% to 3% of GDP, which is close to.
With any business, the more debt you carry, the less the more your business, the more likely your business is to go out of business. So reducing debt is not a bad thing. A lot of Jamaicans need to be creative because, as Mira said, they have so much people, have so much reselling in the community. Everybody trying to do a side hustle in Jamaica. You're near a waterfall, your community, there's people who watch anything on YouTube and all these platforms. Every Jamaican should be creating
$90 billion of additional resources which no longer have to be part of your primary surplus target. So we will be able to fund our program quite comfortably come April next year when the fiscal year starts.
Dr. Holness,
there is a song which says, when the rum tells you you're a big dancer. I don't know what the leader of the opposition was drinking. Firstly, the debt to GDP for this fiscal year is not projected to be 60%. It is projected to be 65% thereabouts. If the leader of the opposition is depending on growth to provide the revenues for $75 billion of expenditure, the country would have to grow between 8 and 10%, which has not done that since the 60s. Thirdly, yes, there are $300 billion of programs. What are these programs? Pharmaceuticals.
Thank you, Dr. Holness. Thank you, Dr. Holness. Our next question is from Giovanni Dennis, and it goes to Dr. Holness.
Dr. Holness,
I don't want to see them, Brian.
You said on February 7, 2016 in Sam Sharp Square, Montego Bay, within our first 100 days in government, we will start the legislative process to fix the general election date in Jamaica. It's been 3,490 days since. In your May 2016 budget debate, you further stated the country should not be distracted by protracted periods of uncertainty. Yet, that's exactly what happened with this year's election. After 2 consecutive terms in office, you have failed to deliver on this promise. Why?
Your research into this matter, and I respect the question, is incomplete. At the calling of the 2020 general elections, I explained to the public in Parliament that our government actually started work on fixed election date, and we found that it was inconsistent with our constitutional arrangements. And therefore,
this shit need to be fixed so that politicians stop playing games. The fact that it's not fixed is a proof of corruption. Jamaica too corrupt.
or we did not include it in our 2020 manifesto. It is no longer a part of our platform.
Why the fuck not?
More to that, however, is the fact that in seeking to have all of these previous considerations included, we went about putting in place a constitutional reform commission that would bring all...
We have a chat about the bomb threats them too. I watch the news there. This is the review part, and who you think will win?
The considerations for constitutional reform under an expert review. That expert review was thwarted by the opposition. So, yes, these considerations were considered from 2016, but the reality of our constitutional arrangement made us take a different route, which is to go to a comprehensive constitutional reform, which was frustrated by the opposition.
Over to Mr. Golding to respond.
Just before I respond, just to point out that Mr. Holness's data is not current. The Fiscal Commissioner issued a release, I think it was today actually, indicating that with the national system of accounts being up.
All right, let's push up in it to see some more questions.
First,
help.
They mess
I
around.
think that is wrong.
Tax relief measures.
They were the ones who nudged, encouraged, and agreed with the government that a process should be started for the repatriation of our sovereignty. Midway the process, they have turned around to say they have challenges with it. What is it that they really want? Are you truly a Jamaican?
it's time for our next question. It is from Dion Jackson
All right, anyone in Jamaica can rub Jamaica blind.
Miller, and it goes to Mr. Golding.
Hit the like button if you're in the chat.
Mr. Golding, the PNP is promising a tax break for small businesses for the first 3 years of formally incorporating, as well as a raft of other targeted tax relief measures. How do you respond to criticisms that your tax plan reintroduces inefficiencies, tax avoidance, and corruption into the tax system that have been eliminated over the past 15 years?
First of all, I think the Prime Minister repeated innuendo or direct attack which has been leveled by his party on my nationality. And, you know, I just wanted to just make it absolutely clear that I am indeed born here as a Jamaican. Here is my birth certificate, and it shows I was born at the University
My man, pull out the receipt.
Hospital.
My name Golden.
On July 19th, 1965, and it's right
Hey, check if I know AI make that photocopy or something.
here. I hope your cabinet can pick it up. And I have a copy for you, Prime Minister, right here. And I wish you could provide me with a copy of your certification, but of course you can't do so. Now, on the question of tax, it is quite...
What kind of certification you call him out on?
There's a third schedule to the GCT Act now, which has a long list of items which are not subject to GCT that are exempt. We feel that laptops and other devices are critical tools of trade, and it is wrong to tax them, and we are going to add them to that list. And similarly, sports equipment, which is vital for social cohesion. Sports is a critical part.
I don't know, say I have to send carry some country $1,000 away in Africa from the US. I in Jamaica when you ship out and only come like a price double. How them not work on them things there with remittances and all them things there with Trump administration. Let me tell you, let me break it down to you. PNP is the equivalent of Democrats in Jamaica, and JLP is the equivalent of Republican in Jamaica.
Of keeping young people away from straying down the wrong path and so on. Why are we taxing those items? That cost of living is already high. So I don't agree. The system we have already caters for items which should not be taxed. And we're simply saying we want to adjust those items to include things that should be there but are not yet there.
Dr. Holness?
The Jamaica Labour Party is the only political organization to have reduced taxes. We reduced the GCT from 16.5% to 15%.
What the fuck is that 1%? How do you think that will benefit nobody?
And we have done so in a way that has not compromised our revenue.
Why not decrease GCT where mostly affected citizens? Why not bring it below 10%? So if it's 15 now and you bring it to 10, it'll be 5, right? And a 5% missing, right? Which pass that on to all the foreign corporations them where I make most of money in Jamaica and send it back to them country. That equal to way more than any Jamaican could have spent because the amount of every year record breaking tourist numbers where the money there go.
Or the sustainability of future programs. All, and I repeat, all the tax suggestions and promises of the opposition
Hit up the like button and get some more people in a conversation.
will compromise our fiscal arrangements and place us back in debt or result in increased taxes. The best way to provide social services is to identify the persons who need it.
Thank you, Dr. Holness.
This is another thing with this time thing, yeah. If somebody have finished get out a pine, make them just finish get out the pine, and because it like hit zero, you must say, that's a grand cut off. It's a stupid farmer way for debate. Let them take the last few seconds to get out them point. And again, this is unbiased in review. I'm not PNP or JLP. I could care less about these two people. They ain't no different in my eyes.
Our next question is from Giovanni Dennis, and it goes to Dr. Holness.
The Rio Cobre is a major water source for the St. Catherine Plains and communities in and around Spanish Town. Yet, since 2019, under your watch as Environment Minister, there have been close to a dozen chemical spills, causing fish kills and disrupting lives. You say
them company they get charged. Them company they fee spill them get charged. Why them know that here say this a company I get 10 million, 20 million charge for spilling the water. I'm not mashing up the natural resources.
They are a champion of the environment. Why hasn't there been tougher sanctions for the repeated breaches of environmental permits by the companies culpable?
The Jamaica Labour Party has put in very tough sanctions, including the requirement for the provision of bonds. We are the only government to have called these bonds and brought polluters to court. We have also started the process of studying the Rio Cobre to ensure that there is no discharge into the Rio Cobre. And this is something that I am personally very serious about, and we will put in legislation to end discharge into the Rio Cobre. It becomes even more important as we have now put in place the Content Rio Cobre water project, for which we are pulling 15 million gallons of water from the Rio Cobre per day. So we must.
Why the fuck wasn't these a things for a long time? Why upon election day I hear everything and we prove they say we not do them there?
Protect that asset, and I give the public my sincere commitment that we will protect the Rio Cobre.
Mr. Golding?
Quickly, just to say that the JLP is not the only party to have reduced taxes. The PNP reduced the personal income tax rate from 33.3% to 25%. We reduced the GCT rate from 17.5% to 16%. There's been... So
all they do are just give them like a 1%. You notice that? Every time one of them just give like a percent, if you say them do something, if you're talking in times like these, they're not doing significant.
Reductions of taxes on both sides. They plan to reduce, they say, income tax from 25 to 15, which is going to help the rich and the ministers who pay themselves 200+% pay increase.
Oh, like you're not rich too. You the rich, one thing your friend them and your big donor them. Don't make them fool in the word semantics, but they have to break it down.
On the environmental issue, you are the one who overturned NEPA's decision not to grant a permit for the mining of the Dry Harbour Mountains, which is a very sensitive nature reserve. You're flip-flopping again, Andrew.
Our next question is from social media. Over to Amoy Harriot.
Well, Archie, Delanore says many Jamaicans would like to see the full rollout of body-worn cameras on our police officers, even more so now given the increase in fatal police shootings. Will this be something that you'll prioritize should you be elected?
Mr. Golding will respond first.
First of all, I think...
And them love to talk about crime law because most of the criminal them fled to the US. And run through the border. Most of the killer them. Yesterday they're all over in New York and Florida. So don't believe crime just low up on purpose because none of these guys was doing a good job. No.
It's very important to acknowledge and commend the excellent work done by the police force over the last year and a half in bringing the rate of violent crime, in particular murders in the country, down from the intolerable levels where it had been under this government. More murders committed in Andrew Holness's 2 years in office than any other 2-year term in the history of Jamaica. The police have finally abandoned the failed policies that we did our best to stop, the mass use of states of emergency, which the court has ruled as unconstitutional, and have gone now to a much more targeted approach, a much more strategically sound approach. Having said that, we do feel that it's very important that the public as a whole must have trust and confidence in the police, because the police rely on intelligence and information from the public. And therefore, if the public feel that there's excessive use of force and there's no accountability for it, they're not going to be as cooperative as we need them to be. I think, therefore, it's in the interests of the Jamaican society and the police themselves to have the benefit of body-worn cameras, especially when they go on special operations, so there can be no question.
Them shouldn't have read that shit 24 hours. I wear some of them crooked. 24 hours a day. Other than when you go in a bathroom or you depend on lunch.
Nobody can accuse them wrongly of having used excessive force when the force was legitimate as used. And to the extent that there may occasionally be an excessive use of force, the persons are held accountable for that in accordance with the law. That's what the rule of law requires.
Dr. Holness?
The government is already in the process of procuring and acquiring body-worn cameras. Several thousands of them are under procurement and will be deployed shortly to the police force.
You know what they say, everything are shortly, as soon come, in the works. These are just politics, election talk.
We consider this as absolutely important in giving confidence to the public regarding the actions of the police force. And the police themselves want to have these cameras as protection for themselves. Interestingly, however, the leader of the opposition states that the states of public emergency did not work. Now, murders under the PNP increased to over 1,000 murders in 1997 and remained there for over 30 years. It is the Jamaica Labour Party in 3 consecutive years that have reduced murders by 55%.
Again, murders slow down because the man them, yes, enough of man them left Jamaica and run off and go through the border when everybody that get let in. Not because they don't know prolific policing.
The states of public emergency worked. The states of public emergency were supported by the PNP when Peter Phillips was the leader of the opposition, and it reduced murders by 27%. Since we did not have the cooperation of the opposition, murders went up. A question must be asked. Who is responsible for the increase in murders when there was a tool that could have saved lives? It is a serious question.
Now, Giovanni Dennis has indicated that he would like to ask one of his 2 follow-up questions. I believe that question will go to
Mr. Golding.
Mr. Golding.
Mr. Golding, I want to go back to the matter of your dual citizenship. It took days for you to confirm that you held dual citizenship and weeks for you to renounce it. Why didn't you acknowledge the issue up front, and why should Jamaicans believe you will be forthcoming with them on any issue, even if it's uncomfortable in the first instance?
I didn't hesitate to acknowledge dual citizenship. I was born in Jamaica. I had a British father, and I inherited British citizenship by descent from him.
Well, I mean, I don't know. But do Jamaica need a third party? That's one question me ask.
And that's lawful under the laws of Jamaica, and indeed parliamentarians in Jamaica are permitted to be dual nationals. I therefore didn't consider it to be something which was problematic. However, when it was raised last year and politicized, I decided I want to know what the Jamaican people felt about it, because I thought really my response ought to be driven by them. We did an internal poll. It showed that a majority thought I should renounce, and so I did. And I renounced my British citizenship in August last year.
August last year, okay.
Dr. Holness, rebuttal.
Well, I mean, I know a PNP rally did look stronger than the JLP rally. my run poll within, them probably pull off a upset me, you know? As me say, JLP for the corporation, the one you're pretending I have to help poor people, so pick your poison into one of them line in pocket.
Oh?
You know, this is a strange one. A man who wants to represent his country must choose his country. He doesn't need to ask anyone. He should choose. And that's why we say we choose Jamaica. It is indeed of concern that it was not until your 40s, when you were becoming a minister of government, that you sought to have a Jamaican passport. It is not your birth that makes you Jamaican. It is the choices you make for your country, including supporting a process that would make a Jamaican head of state here, including getting a Jamaican passport.
Our next question is from social media. Over to Amoy, and that question will go to Mr. Golding.
On TikTok, Taj says, given the current negotiations surrounding the U.S. Keep Call Centers in America Act and its potential to impact over 50,000 Jamaican BPO workers, how does your administration plan to safeguard both employment and livelihoods for young Jamaicans if outsourcing opportunities decline?
The question should go to both political leaders.
That's a good question, and the truth is
I can't answer it. That's what you mean.
that the evolution of technology, especially the advent of artificial intelligence, is also a threat to the type of
It's intelligence, not intelligent.
services that are provided through outsourcing. So we are going to have to ensure that we try and upskill our existing workforce so that they
Oh, you don't say. Jamaican education be backwards since fucking forever.
can be trained to do the type of tasks that technology isn't going to be as adept at dealing with as human beings. And we also have to provide other avenues for employment for young people. That's why we're going to establish the Youth Innovation Fund, which will provide grants and loans to young people to get them into business if they want to get into business. And it will enable them to pursue their talents in tech or in creative industries or any other area of endeavor, so that
Big up yourself, welcome to your advisor there. When they're on the night shift heading to work. Big up yourself when you're watching the replay with their unbiased opinion.
they can express themselves, help to monetize their talent, and build brand Jamaica. And so those are the types of things.
Should be build brand Jamaicans. Building brand Jamaica is the only line in the hotel here. Everybody who benefit significantly from hotel tourism. And the people on the tourist board who control all that tourism, what you call it, leisures and stuff all over the country.
That need to be done. We also want to emphasize training and the role of the private sector in training. We'll be giving an incentive, a dollar-for-dollar matching of all businesses who invest in upskilling and training. We will match their investment through the HEART program to encourage them to invest further in training and upskilling the workforce so they can employ more people in higher paying jobs. Right now, too many of our people are struggling in low income jobs, low wage jobs, low tech jobs.
So now go get tax break for how much $1 million when people even make half $1 million a year, Jamaica. They should have a campaign for no Jamaican should make less than $1 million Jamaican dollars a year. Minimum. How about that?
The same question goes to Dr. Holness.
Well, let me give you some practical and real answers instead of airy-fairy stuff. Jamaica is already positioning itself for nearshoring and friendly shoring of the recalibration of the global supply chain. And that is why we have made a massive investment in the Caymana's development and in Raintree. These are
Caymana's gambling. Caymana's gambling.
Real investments that will bring production to Jamaica and jobs to Jamaica. We have already started to ensure that over 120,000 Jamaican youths can access training free of cost on the heart. And much of that training is in support of not just BPO, but logistics. But more than that, we saw the change in technology coming and the impact it would have. And that is why we have invested in a coding and technology academy, the Amber Heart Academy, where hundreds of
Coding is dead in here. Upon this talk about AI. Not even when you know if you code for AI in a second, you can build, play with the imagination and build whatever app or whatever you want. So this guy is out of tune too.
Jamaican youth are trained in not just the basics, but as high up as data science. Because what we want to create in our society are the trained skills that can attract the jobs that we are already negotiating for. You have a government that understands the changing global dynamics.
Thank you, Dr.
and putting in
Holness.
place measures to take advantage of it.
We'll now take a short break and we invite you to stay tuned.
The general elections.
Run it up. Yeah, we'll get through this thing, yeah. Break down all the nonsense.
Andrew Holness.
2021, you were appointed to the Queen's Privy Council and the Ancient Advisory Body, and your administration's recent attempt at constitutional reform would have seen the removal of the British monarch from Jamaica's parliament and executive in phase 1, but not from our judiciary. Opposition or no opposition, referendum or not, can you tell us your position, whether you support the removal of the Privy Council as Jamaica's final court, and if so, when?
My position is that Jamaica should have its own local court as its final appellate court. But I also do respect the Caribbean Court of Justice, of which we are a part of its original jurisdiction. I will say, however, that on a matter as important as this, that forms the architecture of our nation, the people must be consulted. And that is why I put in place a process that would begin these consultations in a practical and phased basis, a process which has been thwarted by the opposition. Now, the leader of the opposition raises questions about democracy. On one hand, he does not want to consult. He wants the government to just act without consulting with the people, but then turns around and says that we are the ones undermining democracy. The leader of the opposition must be consistent. Democracy requires us to consult the people on these critical matters.
Mr. Golding?
Yes, Mr. Holness, shortly before the visit of Prince William to Jamaica, became a member of the King's Privy Council. So one has to wonder how he was choosing Jamaica when he did that. Anyway, to answer the question, we want to follow the Constitution, and the Constitution has been ruled by the Privy Council as the highest court as not requiring a referendum for the decision as to whether or not the CCJ should become the final court replacing the Privy Council. And that is what we think ought to be done. No other country that has moved away from the Privy Council has had a referendum to do so, and there are good reasons for that.
Our next question is from Giovanni Dennis, and it goes to Mr. Golding.
Mr. Golding, the PNP under your leadership has flip-flopped on a number of issues. For example, Julian Robinson on May 16, 2023 said the opposition takes no issue with the massive salary increase for parliamentarians. The very next day, the PNP released a statement objecting to the increase. Why should Jamaicans trust that you won't similarly make about turns on promises you are making now?
When Julian said that in Parliament, he was referring to the principle of parliamentarians getting an increase. He wasn't addressing the specifics of what was being proposed. We hadn't had a discussion.
Word semantics.
Around those specifics. When we looked at the details and we saw the massive increase that the Prime Minister was proposing for himself and for his ministers, we felt it was unconscionable to do that in the context where the public sector workers had just had their salary negotiations under some duress in relation to the teachers in particular, finalized, and many of them were getting 20% over 2 years. That is why we had to clarify our position, because it was not in accordance with what we thought that principle demanded. Now, over time, thinking can evolve. People change their positions on issues. So, for example, we are looking at this whole question of the 3.5 salary, the $3.5 million threshold increase. And we've seen where
it just show like who's working that. They keep with this $3.5 million. Look for the monthly salary for them people. Jamaican dollar laborer, 50,000. 51,600 Jamaican dollar a month. That's barely over $500,000. So what great tax cut them at all, but who are benefit? Bank cashier, closing technologist, whatever the hell that is. Logistic director. So Jamaica high profile job them here. So make it make sense.
As the debt target is achieved and resources can be released, it can be afforded. We weren't calling for 3.5 2 years ago, but we see that the need, inflation, etc., have happened. Cost of living pressures are there. Our evolution, our thinking has evolved, and we think that this is the right thing to do now, and we're committing ourselves to it. So,
most of the thinking evolve is start around better.
So, you know, I don't think the criticism is justified.
Thank you, Mr. Golding. Dr. Holness now has...
I have to call out that the leader of the opposition is telling lies. Julian Robinson stood in Parliament and said he supported the increase. Clear, and the tapes are there. Secondly, he calls the increase unconscionable, yet he takes it. I, Andrew Michael Holness,
I want to do the same thing.
Did not take it. The option was available to him as well. I chose not to take it. The leader of the opposition says, I have 28 bank accounts. That is absolutely not true. The report of the Integrity Commission includes accounts that are closed, accounts that are dormant, insurance accounts, and investment accounts.
Thank you.
They have weaponized
Thank you, Dr. Holness. Our next question is from Dion Jackson-Miller, and it goes to Dr. Holness.
Dr. Holness.
Why end up with 51 million Jamaican US dollar though? Can somebody answer that? Oh, he ended up with 51 million US. I can't let him saying it right.
In your 2016 manifesto, you said, quote, will make it mandatory that the appointment to sensitive posts be approved by a 2/3 majority in each House of Parliament, thereby requiring consensus between government and opposition. Now, the posts identified included the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions. Not only did you not implement this, but you disregarded the opposition's objections in the case of the recent extension, which led to a court case. Wasn't this a betrayal of the principle of bipartisanship that you had been proposing 9 years before?
Absolutely not. And indeed, in some instances, there are parliamentary review of sensitive positions. And I want to be also very clear that the constitutional reform process that we have put in place would take into...
Welcome to your advisor. We deal with common sense, conversation, and constructive thinking. Big up yourself, hit the like button wherever you are. Hopefully, they go well.
Consideration all of these proposals that were made. We cannot tinker with the Constitution, doing a little thing here and a little thing there, and therefore we decided to put it in a comprehensive process, again which the opposition has thwarted. But since I have some time, let me also address some other issues about the...
All right, address it with them, boss.
Leader of the opposition. In my own Integrity Commission report published in Parliament, There were no findings of corruption.
I think you say still under pending or still under investigation. So there is no finding if you're under investigation. Make it make sense.
All my assets are in Jamaica, and I have declared.
It's sure you know nothing in Miami like all the other politicians them. You know another thing more I see in healthcare, them love go up on camera on Instagram. One Instagram when them in a Jamaican hospital them. Cause none of them get sick, they try to private jet go to Florida all about. We need to see them in a Jamaican hospital when they get sick.
Everything to the Integrity Commission. The leader of the opposition, however, also had a report from the Contractor General previously, which found that they benefited from public resources in an irregular way. They termed it a sweetheart deal.
A sweetheart deal? What kind of deal them did they make? Any Jamaican people them including a sweetheart deal?
In my report, there is no such thing. None of my resources are ever connected to any public funds or any public resources.
You sure? Or you just have skilled way of hiding it?
However, for the leader of the opposition, the report was very clear that their operations were considered to be irregular and a sweet.
Irregular? You see me talking about to cut off the point because it depends 0 seconds. Them style of debate no good for you people in Jamaica who want to pick or choose a candidate. Let them finish out the point even though they give them like 10 seconds to finish out them points.
Thank you, Dr. Holness. Mr. Golding has an opportunity to respond.
All right, brother, you better respond.
The Prime Minister has no interest in bipartisanship. He has strong dictatorial tendencies and really would prefer not to consult with the opposition at all if he didn't have to. And I say that based on my experience with him over the last 5
Talk about the things and why you say that?
years. He talks about he didn't want to tinker with the Constitution. Then why did he seek to amend the Constitution as a one-off, tabling the bill and seeking to pass it on the same day to extend the DPP's tenure beyond what was constitutionally allowed? That was tinkering, Prime Minister, so come on. And in terms of Integrity Commission reports, my declarations have been certified every year as being proper.
Wow, what kind of declaration? Where are the proper?
Yours have not, because you are under investigation.
So you're still under investigation and they talk about non-criminals. So what them are two liars, you see what I'm talking about?
For
Thank
illicit
you,
enrichment.
Mr. Golding. Our follow-up question now, Dion Jackson has indicated she'd like to use the first of her follow-up questions.
On the same issue of the DPP's appointment, Principal Dr. Holness doesn't require constitutional amendments, though. And if it is that you were committed to the principle of bipartisanship, why would you have rejected such strongly worded opposition coming from the opposition leader?
At the end of the day, this matter was taken to the court, and the courts decided.
Which is it? The court decided there is still an investigation.
And the DPP was reinstated. I want to also clarify something that the leader of the opposition said. The investigations carried out by the Integrity Commission are at an end.
Say two of them, no, when I say it done, when I say it, how kind of something they say? The Jamaican people know a verdict on this case here?
I am not currently under any investigation. There were no...
Say just clear without the public know. Stone fishy.
No findings of corruption or charges. The leader of the opposition continues to try to weaponize these things because that is the only crutch he has to stand on. I, Andrew Holness, am thoroughly transparent.
Thank you, Dr. Holness.
Thank you, Dr. Holness.
Or you come up with 51 million US. More that part of be transparent if you're so transparent. You know, should I happy? Think about it. You have a prime minister in Jamaica and he can brag and say, yo, me worth over 50 million US. Hey, me Jamaican people, this is how me I do it illegal. When you can't do the same thing too. Whether it be stock market or whatever I do. Why not show people them things?
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond.
Again, Andrew Holness is being disingenuous and tricky. The Integrity Commission referred his matters to the Financial Investigations.
All right. This is a thing then. If you two of them argue semantics, one say case done, one. How can this goes to show you there's a lot of corruption? Why the people of Jamaica don't have access to public records like court records to see them case here? We don't have no conversation. So somebody need them thing I need to implement where people can go find court documents, make it public record if they're so transparent in Jamaica.
Division, a law enforcement agency charged with investigating serious financial crimes for further investigation. What was his response? When there was a vacancy at the head of it, he sought to appoint or influence the appointment of somebody who is his close personal friend and who had said publicly on nationwide radio that he didn't see anything wrong in the report on Mr. Holness's financial situation, the Integrity Commission's report. It was clearly a set-up job, and we feel that very strongly that this needs to be addressed.
Thank you, Mr. Golding. Our next question is from social media. I'm going to hand over to Amoy.
Malik on Facebook says, many Jamaicans feel the economic growth that's been reported hasn't lowered their grocery bills or electricity costs. How do you measure economic success beyond the statistics?
Numbers don't lie, but people use numbers to lie. Remember
Yad
that?
Vibes says, hit the like button.
Dr. Holness has the opportunity to respond first.
The first measure is income. And 280,000 jobs have been created in Jamaica, which means that more Jamaicans have income. There is a rise.
More income, probably more people. That are probably because more people broke and are hungry, so they have no choice before they could maintain and them look a business. Self-employed business could have pull them through, but never forget a job too. Who knows?
In income. Let's look at the minimum wage. The Jamaica Labour Party government has tripled the minimum wage. So there are more Jamaicans earning more at the lower levels of our country. Further, access to basic amenities. 350,000 Jamaicans have access to potable water, and in our next term, we will ensure that the 900,000 Jamaicans.
Isn't that sad? Just true. Well, I'm in play about that.
Close personal friend and who had said publicly on nationwide.
Dr. Holness has the opportunity to respond first.
The first measure is income. And 280,000 jobs have been created in Jamaica, which means that more Jamaicans have income.
Are those local low-income jobs?
There is a rise in income. Let's look at the minimum wage. Jamaicans earning more at the lower levels of our country. Further, access to basic amenities. 350,000 Jamaicans have access to potable water.
You realize that are not even 10% of Jamaica's population? You know how sad that sounds?
And in our next term, we will ensure that the 900,000 Jamaicans which now don't have reliable or full access to water will have access to water. Transportation, public.
That is crazy. If only 350,000 people have access to whatever you call potable water.
Transportation. We have done an amazing job in reducing bus fares and increasing the convenience and efficiency of public transportation, including implementing a rural bus fare system.
Why we don't have trans-parish bus system where we have designated bus stops and public buses? Them say you can generate more income for the government and fix up a road them. Why we not see them investment there?
Electricity, we have reduced the GCT on electricity. A promise made.
Why you sell out? Why you sell out in Eli company in the fucking first place? So then dig out Jamaican people, yeah.
By the previous government and not kept. We have done it in a sustainable way. But more importantly, we have not placed any new taxes on the people of Jamaica since our government has been managing the fiscal affairs of this country.
Mr. Golding has an opportunity to respond.
First of all, I think the question is sound because statistics don't tell the full picture.
That's true.
Jamaica's competitiveness has been falling, yet they say that we have record low unemployment.
Everything falling for Jamaica. Dignity fall, pride fall, shame fall.
Several 100,000 Jamaicans are outside the labor force and are not measured for that purpose. And indeed, you're regarded as being employed if you're employed 1 hour a week. 55% of Jamaicans are suffering.
Like when people are bringing their true numbers. So you can get a point for that.
From food insecurity. That is what the United Nations says, the FAO, which is an agency of the UN, says. 55% of Jamaicans are not getting adequate nutrition. That is not consistent with...
I didn't love KFC and fight for KFC, that's why. KFC got them locked, that's not nutritious. But that is a standard out there.
Prosperity or low poverty rates or low unemployment rates. As for transportation costs, those are extremely high for many Jamaicans, which is why we want to introduce the RIDE program, a subsidy for rural children to help them to get to school in an affordable way. It's $10,000 per child who needs it.
You have public fucking school buses for kids, but you're not a child picking in your school. That in itself shouldn't be a shame. The amount of billions you're not bringing in tourism.
In each family. So if you have more than one child, each one of them would qualify for this. Because we recognize that that is one of the causes of absence.
They're showing a labor amount is around 50,000 Jamaican dollar. So if you have 10,000 a kid, would that be a year or a month? I don't even know what the matter. What the fuck them are pay for those type of things?
In schools at the moment. As for electricity, the rate and cost of electricity under this government has gone way higher than where we left it at 23 cents per kilowatt hour. Now it's over 40. And as for the GCT, they are...
So that's almost double on the light bill from when them didn't import the other one. That's what that means.
They're providing a subsidy at the moment, but they haven't said for how long, and there's no commitment to keep it on.
Thank you, Mr. Golding. We are now going to be taking a short break, and we invite you to stay tuned.
The general elections debates.
There you advise with the penny. We got the election marathon too. Yeah, election day there, a whole day where I live stream there.
And has been reflected in Jamaica's slippage on the World Press Freedom Index. We have just seen the release of the names of journalists that both political parties objected to participating in the national debates. Why do both parties continue to undermine press freedom and put journalists in danger?
Like them question, yeah. If you don't have freedom of press, you don't have a fair political system.
To be clear, my political party does not undermine press freedom.
You better not.
To be clear, my political party did not object. The objections came from the PNP. And historically, it is the PNP that has been vociferous, including attacking a particular radio station.
Which radio station? Why not giving name them? Why them are attacking a code like them a gang and then secretive? And the people them trying there for? Like, we shouldn't be afraid to call no station name. One of them get sponsorship and what is it? You know, you Trump all the while. Fake news, ABC, MSNBC. So we're not afraid to call.
Personally, have stayed away from any negative commentary about any journalists. Journalists are important, and I support strong journalism. And I want to make that absolutely clear. In the time I have, I will
better.
rebut. I am in no way associated with the head of the FID. My understanding is that the head of the FID is a friend of the Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Dr. Holness. Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond.
Press freedom is a fundamental pillar on which democracy is based, and I and my party fully support press freedom. The Prime Minister said something which was untrue.
What do if you support press freedom? We need to hear it.
When he said that only our side objected to some journalists, their side also objected. In fact, we objected to 3, they objected to 4 journalists, and the matter was eventually resolved, and here we are. And the truth is that some journalists in the country are not as independent as others, are not as professional as others, and it is quite legitimate to criticize persons who you don't feel are living up to the standards of their profession. But we would never do anything to threaten or undermine press freedom, or indeed to make any journalist feel unsafe. And if it ever happens, we'll take out whatever it needs to stop it happening.
Thank you, Mr. Golding. Our next question is from Dion Jackson-Miller, and it goes to Mr. Golding.
Mr. Golding, Coswell Barnett is a blind Jamaican who is also a very experienced and very qualified teacher, but who was out of a job for 4 years. Now, your manifesto promises to protect the right of persons with disabilities. Those Jamaicans are disproportionately affected by poverty. Vision 2030 says that governments haven't been living up to a reserve a percentage of public sector jobs for persons with disabilities. That would have helped people like Mr. Barnett and others like him. Would a PNP government implement such a recommendation?
Thank you for that question, Dion. I come from a family that has delivered transformational national service to the country, in particular in the area of persons with disabilities. My father was the first orthopedic surgeon in Jamaica, and he established what was then the Polio Center, became the Mona Rehabilitation Center, and when he died in 1996, it was named after him. It's now called...
So Papa had bread, place name after him. You hear that? Which one of our people have place name after owner?
The Sir John Golding Rehab Center. He also established the Hope Valley Experimental School, a school for integrated education for able-bodied and children with disabilities. 2 parliamentarians went to that school, and he established the National Road Safety Council because of his awareness of the fact that many people who end up with disabilities is as a result of road traffic accidents. I am and we are very committed to implementing the UN Convention for the Persons with Disabilities, which Jamaica was the first country in the hemisphere to sign, and we are the ones who passed the Disabilities Act, brought it to Parliament. This government took 7 years to bring it into effect. We're glad it's in effect, but it needs to be actualized now in practice so that persons with disabilities feel and see the benefits of it. We are fully committed to that, and we are going to establish a National Disabilities Fund to aid.
We need to see sidewalk, them public bus, if you are going to represent disability people, go all the way out, sir. Sidewalk friendly, everything.
Persons with disabilities so that they can have their assistive aids, they can get help to establish themselves in business at home and improve sidewalks for their transportation. We are committed to...
At least in the same page, when I watch this, so I watched it the first time, half the brain just I commented, so.
The community of persons with disabilities.
Dr. Holness has the opportunity to respond.
To be clear, one of the things that I'm very proud of is that my administration has reserved, under special orders through the NHT, houses for persons with disability. They have a direct access. Under the new social housing program, we make it a point of duty to support persons with disabilities, and many persons with disabilities have benefited. Our administration have brought into effect the Disabilities Act. We continue to support the disabled community with grants and an increase in path benefits. Our government is committed to supporting persons with disability in Jamaica.
Dion Jackson-Miller has indicated that she would like to...
No details, right?
...take her second follow-up question.
Yes, Mr. Golding, we hear the broad statements of policy and principle, but what persons with disabilities want are jobs, which is why I'm asking specific...
You see, same thing we just say. What details Yeah, what's your name? Good fella.
Specifically, your administration would implement a recommendation to reserve a certain percentage of public sector jobs for persons with disabilities.
Yes, we have committed to that across MD&As, ministries, departments and agencies, that we would like to see quotas or an allocation for the disability community to have the benefit of employment opportunities in the public sector. But we also recognize the need to ensure that those who have the capacity to deliver services or to make things at home are empowered to do so. And that's why we have the National Disabilities Fund, which we will establish to help them to get a start in life in the area of business and fulfill their talents and monetize their talents so they can uplift themselves and their families from their homes. So yes, we're fully on board with the idea that you mentioned, Jan.
Dr. Holness, to rebut.
Most definitely. We will do that, and we will do more. In fact, at the Office of the Prime Minister, we do make it a point of duty to ensure that persons with disabilities are employed at the Office of the Prime Minister, and we will give that directive if it is not already in effect.
Yeah.
Yad Vibes says, comment your opinion.
Yeah, make sure to comment in the comment section. Keep it interactive.
To all the ministries, but more than that, people with disabilities want to be independent and they want to work independently, many of them. And we, through various initiatives, including through the various development funds that we have, will provide resources to persons with disability so that they can start their own businesses. And I think that is really the critical thing, to ensure that our persons with disability are independently earning income.
Our next question still goes to Dr. Holness, and it comes from Giovanni Dennis.
Dr. Holness, communities like Charlemont, Birdsucker, Acadia, and many others across the corporate area have complained and have taken the government to court for inadequately regulated developments. Justice Hart Hines, in a 2021 ruling,
make sure you vote in a poll and comment.
said the KSAMC and NEPA have been dilatory in their mandate to enforce local planning laws and regulations. In December 2021, it said work was being done to restructure the entire approval process, yet the issues persist. Why isn't more being done to force the KSAMC and NEPA to do their jobs to enforce the building regulations?
When that comment was made, the situation was as you have said. Since then, there have been significant improvement in enforcement, and including a new planning order for Kingston and St. Andrew, which clarifies many of the issues that were in contention, including we have included more inspection officers at the KSAMC, and there are more cases now being brought to court which are being prosecuted. So there has been an improvement. However, I believe that there is still much more work to be done in terms of increasing the enforcement capabilities. And yes, there are some legislative changes that need to be clarified, particularly as to how titles are issued and how densities are approved.
We need electronic, online, secure ways to start do business in Jamaica. How much people want to go back to Jamaica returning resident, aside from the robbery and the murder, it's just a damn process of even getting one single piece of paper. Shit is crazy. They need to update the infrastructure, man.
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond.
Since the People's National Party assumed the leadership in the council of the KSAMC, the new Mayor Andrew Swaby has been pursuing internal governance reform, including persons from outside, to try and improve standards and processes, make them more transparent and effective, so that the citizens of the corporate area can expect higher levels of governance. I think it's unfortunate that in the case of Mr. Holness and his wife, they are in the business of real estate development, or certainly she is, and that presents serious conflicts of interest which have manifested themselves in some of their own schemes that they have developed. I think we need to have rules which preclude that kind of activity so that there's no question of conflicts of interest.
We've come to the point in the debate when the debaters get an opportunity to ask each other questions. We begin. We invite Mr. Golding to...
Here we go. Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield time. Well, let me get this straight here. Alright, let's see them two clowning asking themselves questions. Welcome to Yard Vibes, the best interactive chat online.
To ask a question of Dr. Andrew Holness.
Mr. Holness, the Integrity Commission in their court filing in the case that you brought.
Hey, oh boy, now they gotta find money when the investigation, you know. You have to respect it.
To try and strike down the act and eliminate the offense for which you are being investigated, have said that you had money in the Ponzi scheme Olint and you got it out.
What?
While others suffered losses. You had money in Cash Plus, another Ponzi scheme where people lost.
Hey, me meet the Cash Plus, but I brother them, you know. It was the guys, you see in barber shop that, hey, we need to do a live stream and that shit.
Lots of money, you got it out. And of course, you had money in SSL, and you were able to withdraw your money before it collapsed. In fact, I would say the only person that Usain Bolt has not been able to catch up with is you. And I want to ask you, how do you think and why do you think the people of Jamaica should trust you to have be in charge of the governance of the country for a third term with that track record and with that cloud hanging over your head?
The leader of the opposition is a liar and cannot be trusted.
Right. Hey, you want to vote in a comment? Who want to think I'm going to vote in a comment and hit the live? We run up it. We are going hours tonight.
I lost money in Cash Plus and Olint. However,
where is the proof you love that about transparency?
The PNP accepted and received $1 million from Olint. He has no credibility to talk about Ponzi.
So what are them in I see a mix up? So you want to tell me them had a public government, them don't know Ponzi scheme when them see it?
Scheme. They benefited from the Ponzi scheme to fund their election campaign. He questions my wife's integrity about development. My wife and my family are hard-working Jamaicans. We started off with taxes like many other Jamaicans, and I have worked hard. He has sought...
How much you make? You can't show Jamaican people how you make 51 million US.
...to weaponize that. But the people who receive me when I go into the country, they say, Andrew, don't worry. No weapon formed against you shall prosper.
Mr. Golding, your rebuttal.
I've made the point that for the Prime Minister and his wife to be in the real estate business when so many of the agencies of government which regulate that business fall under his Ministry of Economic Development and Job Creation creates the possibilities for conflicts of interest, and I stick by that position.
We now invite Dr. Andrew Holness to ask a question of Mr. Mark Golding.
The leader of the opposition speaks about integrity and trust. He was an advisor to a former Minister of Finance that put in place a policy of high interest rate, for which he acted as a broker for the government to invest loans and bonds for which he received a commission of high interest rate, to the point where one of his members described this as the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. He, the top...
Anybody live in Jamaica? Jamaica better to know worse in the last 4 years since COVID, at least.
Canaris lawyer has made billions of this, yet he does not disclose this in his integrity report. In fact,
Mr. Man, what happened to feel like I make this bag of money? Like, how I go on?
In fact, he doesn't even have a house in Jamaica.
I lie. Say my parade growing like in Jamaica and you know no house in there. Wanna clean up all that money in Jamaica? Hold on, let me put on my dock here. Hold on, because I said this is the most interactive chat, so we have to give interactive vibes. How comes one Arab when I rob from Jamaica, I wanna let's see. Alright, whatever.
How can we believe you? And do you have assets in overseas companies for which you have not?
Oh yeah, me I say when I nothing in Jamaica, I wanna rob out Jamaica blind. When I rob you and push out, I wanna rob you and have it there.
Not disclosed.
I've disclosed all my assets, and that's why my Integrity Commission declarations are certified. Your allegations are scurrilous and false. You made reference to
For a big word and chatting. Well, you prove same a fraud or lie, Mattel?
DBNG, although you didn't call the name. DBNG was established in 1992 as an investment firm by 3 young Jamaican entrepreneurs. When the financial sector meltdown occurred some years later, and FinSAC was established as a response to try and protect the savers of this country so they didn't lose their money in their deposits in the banking system. And
should there be a law say they can't invest in certain things other than mutual funds? In Jamaica, they can't invest in individual stocks. Is that a law in Jamaica? These are questions the public need to ask.
Their pensions and so on. DBNG, like other financial firms at the time, had to navigate that carefully to survive. We eventually were approached by a leading international bank, Scotiabank, who did a thorough due diligence on the company. It's a listed company. We were a listed company from inception. Our audited financial statements are public. Our quarterly financial statements are public. They looked at us inside out and upside down, found nothing, absolutely nothing untoward, and they bought the company. And we have nothing to hide on when it comes to DBNG. I would say, why is your government, having spent $200 million on this Commission of Inquiry into FinSAC, hiding the FinSAC report? Is it because you and your wife bought a house from somebody who had been FinSAC'd? You're a hypocrite, Andrew Holness, to be accusing me of anything in relation to FinSAC when you...
Them corruption I need to get displayed to the public.
...have been a direct beneficiary of the losses of somebody who was FinSAC, who lost their home because of FinSAC.
Again, you go to attacking my wife. When you, according to the Contractor General's...
And if you're your wife a thief or your wife a hungry business, so you mean by it one on one?
Port benefited from a sweetheart deal that was irregular. You benefited off the backs of the Jamaican people in creating your wealth. You were a connected party with the then Minister of Finance, and you advised and created the FinSAC debacle with high interest rate. You benefited from FinSAC. I did not purchase a FinSAC house. I bought a house on the open market. And again, you come with...
How much you pay for the house, brother?
Weaponized lies. Your...
When they call him bro God?
Lies will not work.
So if you're my bro God, what kind of God him be? Since he won't let me play a God in our people in life.
We now go to closing statements. Now, based on the earlier coin toss, Mr. Mark Golding of the PNP will go first.
All right, hit him hard, Mr. Man. Want to see it hit hard.
The general election next week, Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm going to cover it live all day. So make sure you join in and tap in. And if you happen to subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell. You know what I say?
Presents a historic opportunity for the people of Jamaica. After 13.5 years of belt tightening and austerity, we are finally in a situation where the debt to GDP ratio has achieved or is on the cusp of achieving the 60%, which was written into the fiscal rules by Portia Simpson Miller. That means that the fiscal rules and prudent economic management can change gear and look at how we can grow the economy and build a society with a better quality of life for all. We see some serious issues that need to be addressed. 700,000 Jamaicans or thereabouts live on public land.
A lie. That's nearly a third of people.
Lands where they've built their homes, but they don't have titles.
A lie, that are like 28% of Jamaica.
Colonial era law set the period as 60 years of occupation before they can get ownership. We are going to reduce that to 25 years. We're going to give them titles. And that is going to unlock over $1 trillion.
A lie.
Of wealth which is now sealed up and quarantined in the old colonial era law that is still on the books.
You know what free up wealth in Jamaica? If we don't stop with the corruption, clean up the crime, and all the returning resident with the billions of dollars combined in America, we don't go back to Jamaica.
That is why also we're increasing the threshold to 3.5 million. So working families who are struggling.
Again, this 3.5 million now help people when I make $500,000 a year, which is probably most of Jamaica.
To make ends meet can get a little break so they can live a better life. It's why we're going to be removing the tax from the overtime pay of workers earning up.
Trump, you remember Trump said no taxes and tips. One of them I use Trump playbook.
$6 million so they can make it easier in life as well. And when I govern the country as Prime Minister to serve you, I will ensure that accountability and transparency are at the center.
You better. None of you transparency. I'm not transparent about nothing. Both JLP and PNP, because I know I'm in a pick side over here.
So. Of what we do, and any hanky-panky, any violation of the public trust will be met with the full force of the law with no protection from me. And that is a huge difference between the government I will lead and the government of Andrew Holness. That is why I'm asking you, on election day, next Wednesday, vote for the People's...
And come tune into Layard Vibes Live.
National Party. Put your ex beside the head. Time come for a better life.
Vote in a poll, want to see who I vote for. Vote in a poll, who will win, JLP or PNP? Alright, next question. Hit him hard now, Mr. JLP, man.
We now invite Dr. Andrew Holness of the JLP to go ahead with your closing statement.
The administration that I lead on your behalf has cut the debt in half. We have created 280,000 new jobs, brought in 85,000 persons into
Is it low-income job or
the labor force. We have tripled the minimum wage. We have cut murder.
Triple minimum wage, alright.
By
you know, cut murder rate, murder them just escape to Jamaica when the West border is free up.
55% over the last 3 years. You have had no new taxes to worry about.
No new taxes. Why your new taxes by the foreign corporation, them, your hotel people, them, the airline people, them, when you sell out up. Want to for them tax, why not go up?
This administration has taken on the previously thought of impossible to solve problems, and we have solved them. We are an administration of performance. You know, when
we want to see performance, not only the sellout party, right?
Next term, our pensioners who have worked so hard will get a break. Those are...
Oh my God, about time the people can get a break. Look, old man, we are watching government place, we're working at the RADA, we're working at the DM, what you call it, the transport place. Police them, the water commission.
Earning $6 million or below will pay no income tax. We will give
okay.
a new income tax rate, which will be graduated, which will see everyone paying lower taxes. You will see 60,000 more houses being brought on the market, with 15% of them
where the money come from?
Dedicated to young people. We will give incentives.
Yeah, that young people now get a house.
To developers to build houses for young people. You will see a new transportation system for
I hope I don't just promise them, man.
Rural school children coming into
when you hear take notes and make sure to hold him accountable.
You will see more work being done on reducing electricity.
Just don't sell out no more. What Jamaica want now? Then we can be independent and you don't want no.
Government is a government of performance. This election is about a clear choice.
Me I go watch it. Me I go fight.
Promise
to the poor and cater to the rich. That's what we see.
Or performance.
Cater to the rich, that means performance.
That's what it is. You have to make a decision. Who can deliver? It is this administration that has taken on the difficult problems, and we have delivered for you. I ask you on election day to vote for what is best for Jamaica.
What is it?
Vote for a government that performs.
We don't just mean performance, mean sell out. You know, my Chinese man them control the highway and a taxi people them free go from 0.8 to beat thousands of dollars. That I mean?
Vote for the Jamaica Labour Party.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Holness. Thank you, Mr. Golding. In the good spirit of the debates, we now invite Dr. Holness and Mr. Golding to shake hands.
Well, my brethren ain't go and see him run bar. And what I see him behind the same place. Probably up on the same yacht. On Sunday daytime I go fish. Don't get it twisted. See you laugh and smile. So yeah man, we are the later. Yeah. Alright, I see who win and who can rob, you know. I know when we have the same friend them. Jamaica's a little all that big shot them if I hang out one place. Yeah man.
And now we can breathe. That concludes the leadership debate between party leader Dr. Andrew Holness, representing the Jamaica Labour Party, and party leader Mr. Mark Golding, representing the People's National Party. Our sincere thanks to both party leaders and all the debaters. This was the...
Why are you afraid of the comment section? Vote.
The final debate in the 2025 General Election Debate Series. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to our studio audience, our production crew, production and funding partners, and more.
All right, let's
set
go.
about were the interpreters tonight, and I said interpreters because
discussed quite heavily this issue of 28 bank accounts. Let's go to that question and answer.
In this instance, the question, you have 90 seconds to answer, and we begin with Dr. Holness.
Corruption is a serious problem in our country.
That has been asked is an excellent.
Bombshells and turnout, people refusing to vote because they believe that both parties are corrupt. You answer half the question. So they've both zoomed in and focused on.
We have that. We're Jamaican people, them did I say. Zero as a live chat. No. Well, and so the live chat never opened. Okay.
The corruption point with, as we had spoken about.
All right, we'll see what's going on with this bomb thing in Jamaica. Look, Jamaica have bomb threats now. How are this?
Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Dwayne Anderson, and here's what we have in the bulletin.
Multiple bomb threats across the island as voting gets underway for special
technology. Finding people here.
Services. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness breaks silence on CCJ, pushes for local final appellate court. And later in sports, Cavalier held to a draw at home in CONCACAF Caribbean Cup.
Now the details. An investigation is underway into what appears to be a coordinated bomb threats across the country. Several PICA and other government offices have been affected. The Jamaica Fire Brigade told our news centre that there are bomb scares at PICA offices in the corporate area, Montego Bay, Mandeville, Maypen, St. Anne and Port Antonio. The JFB Commissioner Stuart Beckford says other government offices, including the Ministry of Local Government, the UDC on Ocean Boulevard, Jampro and the NHD are all affected. Commissioner Beckford said the brigade is stretched responding to all these incidents.
What kind of low-life people that do them tell me?
National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang also provided an update on RGR's hotline earlier today.
The security forces, JCF, JDF, aware of it.
Yes.
And tracking them. The intelligence would suggest that this is more like a mischievous, but we are taking all threats seriously and will investigate them. We have advised agencies to immediately their internal protocols, because we do have protocols and these were all renewed after the threat to the schools, which took place a couple of years back. And therefore,
I wonder if they just give a mumbo jumbo and then really investigate them.
the Permanent Secretary is all aware. We had the CAB 6 sent out a notice to everybody. And I said, agents are taking steps to, apply what we consider the internal protocols.
And that was the National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, speaking to Emily Shields a short while ago. Now, as voting continues, the security forces and election day workers cast their ballots today. Just over 45,000 persons are eligible to vote.
Voting, let me comment, I want poll around there. PNP or JLP, who y'all think going?
The Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, says so far there have been no reports of disruption. Director of Elections Glasspool Brown says all polling stations opened on time and voting has been progressing smoothly. Meanwhile, the National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, says,
No, it has not been impacted. The police have enough personnel deployed to the areas to investigate. And the Chief Commissioner of Police is very sensitive to it, and they've had cross-discussion with the other elements of the security forces who can visit and do the required search.
I hope there are no corruption. One thing we can say, it seems like if there used to be like a lot of violence with people that shoot up community, that goes to say maybe election kind of a little bit fairish. Jamaica don't have too much corruption in voting.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for St. Catherine Eastern, Denise Daly, says she's hoping that the challenges which existed during the special services voting in the local government elections have been addressed. At the time, some police officers who went to polling stations in the Southborough Division in Portmore encountered delays.
If it happened there, I do not know how widespread this will be now.
I mean, you don't know, Mama. You're MP.
So I'm just saying that we take all the precautionary measures that this will not reoccur, because those persons cannot vote on the civilian list.
Come on, man. Fix everything we need to fix in a 4-year extra time and a set date. This is why you need a set date for the election.
Now, she's also concerned that some special services may not be aware of how to resolve the issues in these instances.
Madness.
They can go to on the civilian list to check to see whether or not their name will appear.
Why the fuck you just the one list for avoid all of this? It's a bunch of lists. I don't know, no computerized in Jamaica. You see video them police still write in a notebook of police office. Madness.
On those lists as well. And I am certain that it will not be there. So they will be denied the right to vote. So I'm calling upon the authorities to make sure that we get this one right, because we do not want to have those kind of glitches, because those glitches leave too much doubts in the minds of the voters.
A fucking course. Get the shit right. Don't have years. Hit the like button and send out the message. Make more people jump in on the live stream, cause everybody free to come in.
In the meantime, the Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, says police and military electors are assigned to their voting location based on information received from the Police High Command and the Jamaica Defence Force, JDF. Now, according to the EOJ, that information was used to determine where officers are placed to vote today. Now, prior to the announcement of the election, police and military officers were advised through the media and other channels to check the voters list to ensure they are assigned to the correct location.
A major flashpoint in Thursday night's national leadership debate was Jamaica's path to judicial reform, as Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, for the first time, publicly expressed support for a local final appellate court instead of adopting the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ. Dr. Holness argued that Jamaica has the legal expertise and institutional capacity to establish its own ultimate court of appeal, one that will reflect the country's sovereignty and legal traditions while remaining accessible to ordinary citizens. He noted that such a move would symbolize Jamaica's full independence.
Okay, poll says 67 PNP, 33% JLP. So people say PNP are leading so far.
moving away from both the British Privy Council and regional reliance on the CCJ.
My position is that Jamaica should have its own local court as its final appellate court.
Because what happened with Vibes Cartel, right? Shame on the eye.
But I also do respect the Caribbean Court of Justice. I will say, however, that on a matter as important as this, that forms the architecture of our nation, the people must be consulted. And that is why I put in place a process that would begin these consultations in a practical and phased basis, a process which has been thwarted by the opposition.
Opposition leader Mark Golding strongly disagreed, reiterating the People's National Party's commitment to making the CCJ Jamaica's final appellate court. Now, he stressed that the CCJ already provides regional legitimacy, tested jurisprudence, and cost-effective access to justice compared to the Privy Council in London.
I guess with the Caribbean, it would be multiple Caribbean appointees. So if Jamaica corrupt, let's say, you have different people, but then again, anybody can buy, you can go buy them in Trinidad, Guyana. I mean, I don't know.
We want to follow the Constitution, and the Constitution has been ruled by the Privy Council as the highest court, as not requiring a referendum for the decision as to whether or not the CCJ should become the final court replacing the Privy Council. And that is what we think ought to be done. No other country that has moved away from the Privy Council has had a referendum to do so, and there are good reasons for that.
Analysts have since questioned whether a purely Jamaican final court is practical at this stage.
Why are you going to put an issue that can be easily rectified within the parliament back
Vote
to the
in
people?
the comment section.
Because we're at a point where we must have a referendum on the matter of the Republic, right? So why not add that to it as well? And can't the Prime Minister have a personal view, but chooses not to use his authority as Prime Minister to force it upon the people? I think that's absolutely reasonable.
But for attorney at law and broadcast journalist Julian Quarry.
Well, I mean, it looked like PNP are going to pull up an offset to me, I don't know. Based on the rally, even though them not set up my rally, it could look rile up. What else? You don't know.
The Prime Minister puts on the table he wants a local court, respects the CCJ, but thinks that we should have a local court. The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council, though, is still in place. We are now having a conversation that brings in a whole third about a whole way of how much money is it going to cost, what does it look to set up, everything. I think it expands the conversation. It's a definitive answer for the first time that we have received tonight, and I think that it is useful going forward, but it is one that I did not.
Jamaica need to run the parish them like how US run state. And then have an overhead government like the federal government. Like each parish have a set of rules and regulations, and then the overall country have certain ways, because everything that shouldn't regulate the same way. When Kingston might have more manufacturing, one place in a city might have more agricultural, one might have more tourism. So if you charge all of them the same tax rate and all these things, it don't make sense.
Not expect to hear.
Y'all agree with me? Portland have no whole heap of, we don't say factory in more natural places. So how certain manufacturing tax break can help them? That the parish there. So each parish needs to have certain independent tax laws, if you ask me.
The general election 4 days away, the debate has reignited national discussion on how Jamaica should finally sever its judicial ties with Britain and whether the country is ready to stand alone or
Lloyd
stand
Banks
with the
says,
region. O'Shane
Good night
Master.
to everyone. Blessings from Portland.
Big up Portland. Big up.
News.
With just days to go before Jamaicans head to the polls, members of the disabled community are raising renewed concerns about inclusion. Now in St. James, I tell you what, let's take a quick break and return with that.
All right, here goes for this inclusion nonsense. May I break it down?
Story. Please stay with us. Welcome back and continuing the news. An appeal this afternoon for the intervention of the political ombudsman It follows yet another wave of political-related vandalism in eastern St. Thomas. The People's National Party is alleging that billboards and other paraphernalia of its candidate for eastern St. Thomas.
Hey, no, when you step in this chatter, you step in a lion's den. Because we are no side, we are unbiased, and we clap back. But feel free to always comment anybody.
Thomas, Rosemary Shaw were torn down by the JLP.
Some known terrorists in St. Thomas Eastern from the Jamaica Labour Party.
A known terrorists? You say we need to stop using murder like what them using American. You can't be calling government people or your opponents terrorists. If them not terrorize people. Jamaica is already a wicked place where full of violence. We don't need them type of talk in there. And I come from government official.
The past 7 weeks they have been going around, tearing down our billboards, tearing down our signs and our flags. And I just want to send a strong message to them that under no circumstance
police should arrest those people.
I am a Jamaican first, everything come after equal rights and justice.
Alright.
we are going to tolerate that
respect for chat, for comment in our chat.
Sort of criminality in this constituency. On the 3rd of September, the people is going to make sure that we turn back that sort of politics.
Hey, me, I live stream all day, September 3, make sure to tune in.
She's also appealing to
Lloyd
the people of St.
says,
Thomas to be
no problem, bro.
Vigilant and to turn back the dark age of bad politics.
Do not allow outsiders to come into this constituency and create havoc and mayhem. And I'm calling on the Prime Minister to rein in these people who are doing this sort of act. I am sick and I'm tired of it.
Well, countries can't tired of violence. Vote in our chat who will win PNP or JLP. Me have a poll run.
Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says recent tests of the government's rural school bus program showed problems with some of the buses on certain routes. The Transport Minister has been testing 122 routes across the island to see how well the program works. Now, Mr. Vaz says the test showed that some buses were not fit for the rough roads on the routes they were first given.
We found that some of the buses that were allocated were not suitable for the routes for different reasons. We have actually changed some.
You see the shame to say this is semantics. Say because a rough, some buses unfit for a rough rural road. Say bad road or no fucking road because they not fix the road them for decades. But rough rural roads, no rural roads.
Some of the allocations and change some of the orders for the buses to be able to specify the needs of the routes. So the bottom line is that that was the reason for the testing of the 122 routes to make sure that the buses that were assigned are compatible. So that has been dealt
Minister Bad Mind
with.
The government says these changes are very important to make sure rural students have a safe and reliable way to get to school as the program grows. Medical Officer for Health for St. Thomas, Dr. Doyen Smith, says the health authorities in St. Thomas are ramping up efforts to rid the parish of mosquito breeding sites. The Environmental Health Unit's vector control team launched a mosquito breeding prevention program.
Of death every
Lloyd
year.
Fang says,
worldwide,
you waste too much money on those bus.
So them that public bus, so I wonder how much them cost and where they run to. Them run inter-parish, like them go from one parish to another parish, or it's just within a town or whatever.
Lingering effects of these diseases include things such as
the minimum investment is $5,000 and the interest is $700 million from a 182-day Treasury bill on September 3. The minimum investment.
All right, politics. We are watch because I think this is going to be a deadlock.
Lloyd Fang says, you cannot enter most of the communities.
Let me see. You can't enter most of the communities. You have to be specific. You mean if you take the buses, them or what? Watch that already. See these manifesto, one of them.
About a program to looking at the PNP's
All right, this said JLP manifesto 2025. Let's break this.
Lloyd Fang says, yes, boss.
Okay. It's an interesting way. I've got to check out them. How them not do them a researcher before them get these buses is beyond me.
manifesto, and Ham said once the JLP's manifesto was published, we would give them the same opportunity. So joining me in studio, we have the chair of the JLP's Manifesto and Achievements Committee, Kamina Johnson-Smith, and another member of the committee, Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon. And in the second half of the program, we are going to be hearing from the president of the Medium, Small and Micro Enterprises Alliance, Antoinette Hamilton, as well as outgoing policy and advocacy chairman of the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, Shamar.
Hit the like button there for me and send out it live so more people can get in and we have a conversation.
Wellerburn, they'll be raising their issues and asking any questions they have as well. Remember, want to hear from you. Our WhatsApp line is 876-25406. People's National Party, Mark Golding, announced
$1 a year will be increased.
This proposal, take a look.
Under the PNP government that is to come,
them are too long, a 1.4B.
Them are too long, 1.4.
Increasing the tax threshold so that persons who currently pay tax at 25%, if they're earning up to $3.5 million a year, they will be paying tax at 0% under the next PNP government. We'll be raising the threshold to give them a tax-free.
Hey, if I look a bit at people that work $3 million, what this don't make no sense.
All right, and thank you both so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. And I know, especially since the education minister is here, you do want to talk a little bit about education part of the manifesto. I know my viewers would want that as well, but the tax plans really right now are overshadowing everything. And one of the questions that has been asked, was asked in the debate last night as well, is about funding. And how can we be sure that a JLP administration really can do things? Let me start with you, Mrs. Johnson-Smith, but perhaps break things down a little bit, because sometimes we tend to assume people are following us.
Yeah.
So when we talk about this 25 to 15% and moving from direct to indirect taxation.
Sure, and we've spoken about it on a...
People, them represent Jamaica. Yeah, high yellow people. Yeah, one video I got about them colorism.
Another program, but Dana is actually going to take that issue tonight. Yeah.
All right. Hi, Dion. It's good to be here. In terms of the tax plan for the JLP, as we've always done, we've been very responsible with our tax policy. When we said we were going to do 1.5, we identified how that was going to be done. And in this case too, we have looked at the costs. And it's for that reason why we said it would be phased in. So our goal is to get to a base rate of 15%. That doesn't mean we're eliminating or movements in the threshold. We're still going to be as...
I don't mind internet at Kaka TVJ.
We're still going to be as the...
Well, make sure the stream running right. Okay, it's an excellent connection.
Room presents itself, and as the economy continues to perform, we will increase the threshold, but we also 15% as the base for those who are earning above the threshold. But there's also another element, but we're starting with what we can do and phasing it in. And so we will phase in this 15%. We obviously have
refresh this time. I don't know.
Other element to the tax policy, which is not spoken about very much, which is in relation to the elimination of taxes, personal income taxes completely on those who are retired. So over 65s will no longer pay taxes up to $6 million. That's a very big change.
Jamaica become a retirement place now?
For a lot of our older Jamaicans who may be receiving any kind of income. It could be income from pension, it could be they have another job, which I really love to see because we have so many over 60s who are now going to heart and starting new careers. So there's that element too, and we've costed it. We've costed it, and we have found that it's about 28 to 44 billion, depending on how quickly you bring the base rate down. But we're not going to bring it down to the extent that we're going to unsettle all of the fiscal gains that we've already got. And those were very hard-won gains. And so our position is that we can put more money into the pockets of people, but we have to do it responsibly, because you don't want to end up in a situation where
Put it responsible and take it back over next week.
You do this, you help a little over 100,000 people, but then at the end of the day, you end up having to either cut spending, borrow more and get back into debt, or have to add taxes. And that's really the reality here. So what we're trying to do is to give people more money, but also then not turn around and say, okay, I'm going to have to tax you more in order for you to get this.
There are different figures we're hearing coming in, because we heard the finance minister
Who y'all think going to win?
last night use the figure you suggested, about 28 or 30 odd billion.
Welcome to Your Advice, the best interactive live stream on YouTube in the Jamaican diaspora. Unbiased commentary, no feelings attached. Let's go. Hit the like button.
The reporter who was asking her about it had a much higher figure, and we've heard economists who also have much higher figures as well.
Yes.
So how credible is yours?
No, I think ours is very, I think we always.
I think both parties full of shit, and they might use word semantics and psychology for people. None of them have no real plan. And when I consider panda to be poor, I want to continue to benefit the rich.
These are very credible. And remember that what we're saying is that we want to have a progressive tax rate. And so the tax rate could change as you earn more income. So in a progressive tax system, what you do is you try to ensure that those at the base actually pay less taxes. And so taxes would increase depending on your income level. And that's kind of the environment that we currently have. But we believe that the base right now, which is 25%, after you have reached the threshold, should actually be lower and should be 15% once you have reached that threshold. And that's really what we're doing. And we've ran the numbers. Last night's numbers didn't have the pension, the tax for seniors. And that's a very important one to add into it. And so I've
What do you mean by
added that into the calculations in terms of the costs associated.
All right, I'll go through with some of them Jamaican here, say after this. You tic-tac bring them.
With our plan and the elimination of taxes on seniors, that's going to be implemented immediately. So there's no delay on that.
And I just want to make clear that certainly we don't know where Al got his number from last night. That didn't sound like there was any reference to actual data. And we do know, I did hear the economists.
After this, I'll go over in a TikTok, watch a video them and watch a commentary them. So, join that.
Propose another figure at 75 billion or something like that. And he gave the caveat himself that he actually didn't have any information about the plan. So this was just his broad speculation about what it might be. So what we have provided are the actual numbers. And just to use Dana's language in another framing, to just say that what we are planning to do, as is set out in our manifesto, is to continue to increase the income tax threshold. We have, in the manifesto, it stops at 2 because that's where our budgeting program has stopped, but not where our policy stops.
Exactly.
So we will go beyond 2, but what we've put in the manifesto is our programmed sum at this point, together with the rebalancing of the 15% above the threshold. So ours is a double dose of income tax benefit, and it's within ensuring that there are no new taxes. It's also ensuring that it doesn't require additional debt, and that it does not require any sort of cutting of any other program. It allows us to continue to grow and expand in the programming that we have set out in the manifesto.
Hold that thought for me. Let's go to break. We're back in a moment. Remember our WhatsApp line, 2540693. Give us your first name, your general location. Soon come.
Welcome back. Time now for the business day. Campaigning comes at a cost, but for many businesses, it's also a payday. The election trail is proving to be fertile ground for raising sales and economic activity across the island. Deidre Thomas reports.
Every election cycle turns into a marketplace. Candidates are the brands and voters are the customers. To win them over, campaign pumps millions into advertising.
Where the money there come from, the millions where they are pumping a campaign business? Where it come from?
Data analytics, rallies, and merchandise. On every street corner, banners are up and billboards are booked. Behind the scenes, dozens of vendors are cashing in.
So Bravo, talk to me about the sales. How has sales increased for you?
Yeah, it's increased. From Andrew, from Golia coming in.
From who?
Andrew Goli, the councillor. I'm having an election, you know. Andrew wants to go sit down.
So what you say about the sales now?
The sales them all right.
You're seeing an increase in sales since election?
Yeah. Wallet.
We buy them a ton and we get them for say 150 or one, but we give God thanks to make back $50 per hour money. Bless them, Mr. Chin. I don't know where to hustle.
Yes, Mr. General Blind.
Gas stations, t-shirt printers, and other local businesses also see profits soar.
Yes, there's an increase in the sales of orange and green.
Just the other weekend gone, it was a Sunday, and we had so much traffic flowing through. I was wondering what was happening, and I realized that it was a campaign that was happening. So, yeah, it is a lot more. Right, than we're not naturally used to on a weekend.
Last week we actually did a post where we displayed both political party logos, so we got a little traction from the social media platform, and I think that's good. I mean, we see where revenue has drastically increased. We have persons calling, we got social media reposts, etc. So it's a great look.
Campaign injects millions into the economy and sales increase drastically, and some small businesses see a boost. Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Dr. Wayne Henry, explains this trend is consistent. He says increased spending during elections typically lift sales, and he expects the economy to grow by 2 to 3% in the July to September quarter, driven in part by higher consumption associated with election activities.
With intense election campaigning, you do see some increase in spending, some increase in economic activity, and at the least you would expect that sort of bump, temporary upturn in terms of spending, consumption spending. And overall spending during that period.
However, the bigger question remains, when the campaign dust settles, will these businesses hold on to the momentum, or will the profit fade as quickly as the rallies disappear? Deidre Thomas, TVJ News.
I should go faint, so Jamaicans are bandwagon.
Former co-chair of EPOC, Keith Duncan, has described the proposals by the JLP and PNP as highly aspirational. Speaking with Emily Shields on Hotline today, Mr. Duncan questioned whether Jamaica has the fiscal space to accommodate the expected revenue loss from the proposed tax.
More about no business, go for TikTok right now. We're going into deep territories right now. We're going to review the TikTok people, see who makes sense, what are nonsense. Alright, look on JLP rally.
a couple of days left, so let's just talk about it and done. Okay?
We are
so now
about.
listen. We are going to give Caesar what due to Caesar now. Last night, Mark Golding win the clash. The debate. Everybody knows that Mark Golding win the debate. That is my opinion. That is not yours. But Mark Golding win the debate last night. But that...
Just watch the debate, no win the debate. Put them full of shit.
Not have anything, because to do with, we no can see we live in America, we no can see what go on right about nothing. You can't just come on the debate if you feel win. Come on the debate and just say 2 words and walk off back and just tin away your election because that's how the world are run right now. So it's not who win the debate must win because we see what go on in the world right about now. But you still have to give Caesar what due to Caesar.
So the political debate we are going on Jamaica has been quite revealing with the birth certificate and the certificate of live birth. We see Mark Golding roll out to the certificate of live birth. And I wonder what is. We've been not telling you about this. The difference between the birth certificate and the certificate of live birth. This proves that you are medically alive. And if you see the name them on it, everything right in a wetting signature. So somebody literally take them time out for write up this form. This was printed out on computer, everything in a full capital.
Alright, not here educator. Educate me.
And this represents a stock, a local registered stock, and this is the local registered stock certificate. If you don't know me I talk about, you go check out the blood clot, local registered stock act. And that link with the Bonds Act of Jamaica, Land Bond Act of Jamaica, and the whole of them link to the Companies Office where gives you this business name certificate. So your business name is the same thing as the government name, and this have the government name on it. This have your true title. Look on the back of this. Certified to be a true copy of the original record. Remember, when you go to school, them tell you about nouns. Nouns are names of people, places, animal, and things. And you write a noun. You write a noun with an uppercase.
Tell them Rasta.
A clear majority of Jamaicans now believe the Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party deserves a 3rd term in office. That sentiment has increased by 5.
What y'all think? Vote in the comment section. We run one poll.
Points since last May. That's according to the latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools. It's a big vote of confidence for the governing party as it enters the final stretch of the 2025 election campaign. Ricardo Brooks has the numbers.
The Labourites have been telling anyone who will listen that a 3rd term is loading. In fact, some have been bold enough to predict it's already loaded. According to the Blue
People to me like it will be an upset. The people them more rile up to me. And I show up more, with the PNP. Just for the rally them.
They may well be right. When the pollsters asked 1,511 registered voters whether Andrew Holness and his government deserve a 3rd term, 55.5% said yes. That's up 5 points from the 50.3% who gave the same answer in May. It's also a near 8-point jump from the 48.
This means this will be one dead close election. I cover it live all day.
% who said yes in September last year. 44% of the respondents want to see the back of Holness and his Green Army. But the Labourites need not be too daunted by that figure, since it's down 5.2 points since May. The Blue Dot pollsters say the strong reception to a 3rd term indicates a JLP that has consolidated support and is now benefiting from a decisive shift in public sentiment. This shift is being reported on the day the security forces and special service electors are casting their ballots, and just 4 days out from the ultimate political showdown between Holness's JLP and
upon my hands me there, and I can't see a Labour right. The whole of the stretch of JLP. Look like we're going to get some showers tonight. Uno come here a little bit. Make me go no one saga. After 2 missy 100 this morning. Say my look some vote, mama. Me could.
It is not your birth that makes you Jamaican.
I already see some comment them.
So the political debate we are going on Jamaica has been
A clear
Alright, choose Jamaica, choose JLP. I can't wait for PM winnings. I know it's a third term. I'm praying for PM remains. Okay. Like more people as a JLP, yes, straight 1 PM landslide. Okay. Green heart emoji, JLP. Okay. Third term. Social media. Yes, done all at Jamaica. Okay. All right. Like TikTok full of JLP.
Birth that makes you Jamaican.
What did I just hear a while ago? Andrew, I know you have issues with the Constitution.
But mine left me out in the cold.
I do not think that Jamaican residents living
Jamaicans living abroad should not be allowed to vote in Jamaican election. Do you know what dual citizenship is? Stupid.
abroad should be allowed to vote. Obviously, whether I think they should or not, they're still gonna go and vote, right? They have been emasculated or whatever that word is. But I think it's unfair that they have an input in a country that they don't live in.
It's just somebody very ignorant. Yeah, it's really coming. Regardless, we're still Jamaicans. I don't see a problem with it. They contribute to the economy, so they should have a vote. Some of us are citizens of Jamaica who have home investment, pay tax. Yeah. I mean, she don't know shit about, but
Living like you guys aren't going through the dailies of like what are you voting for? Like I know, and then I say, oh yeah, but I'll return to Jamaica. I'm a returning resident. Then when you return, then you can vote, but you vote. Let's say you go vote for somebody.
and I bet people like them have following, so ignorant and I tell people nonsense.
Don't do shit, the place turned upside down. You can just live in America or wherever the hell you are, and you're not having to face whatever issues they are. Like, let the people them go in the country where I got you it, will feel it and know it. Make them put the X beside the bell or the head or whatever it is. Yeah, I feel like y'all should stay out of it. Go vote for Trump or whosoever, the Queen of England or whatever. Yeah, wherever I want to live. I do not think.
Breaking news. It's the final showdown.
If you as a Jamaican in 2025 is voting based on family lines or where you come from, you're voting for the JLP or the PNP, just because my family member always vote PNP or always vote JLP, you are a part of the problem. You are why these politicians have such a easy time just a trick on. Uno are the problem.
True words.
Because no matter what them say, them know you're going to turn up blind and loyal and not really holding them accountable. We need to start holding the politicians that you're voting for accountable. You need to start assessing their manifestos, their policies, and what they've done, their track records. Stop voting solely based on bloodlines and allegiance.
If you preach that is so stupid. If you live somewhere you don't have natural resources like water, road, hospital for fucking 20, 30 years since independence, and you did a JLP, Shawampo, y'all stupid. You know me hurt a lot of people feelings when me say that, but you done dumb.
You should be, your first allegiance actually should be Jamaica, not a political party. If your first allegiance is the political party, then you are part of the problem. You need to make better decisions. You need to actually take time. Don't tell me, say, oh, me not.
You know, when me talk the truth, is hit people, enough people nerves and run out of their life.
Understand that, them policy, them too complicated and them thing there. No. You have the tools and your means. Ask questions. You have social media. You have internet. You have ChatGPT now. Now is the time. Now is the time where the information is there. Now is the time you can actually say, wait, brother, you lie about something. It make it sound good, but how am I going to actually do this? Now is the time you can check if it's an empty promise you get. You're not tired to get pill. Bumbleclaw, every 5 years you get a pill and you still go and go swallow it. Learn. If you
Okay, let's see what I'm going nice city night on them. Early voting. Another thing, them politicians my biggest hypocrite them. In the rally them, you hear most gun song and killer song. But you see them a ban certain song off a radio. Big old hypocrite them.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my sister-in-law is talking to one of her friends and they are
Alright, the poll said they're 50-50, you know, JLP 50%, PNP 50%.
talking politics.
Get in there live and vote.
Is about to have their general election. We stayed up last night a little bit later and watched the debate.
Alright, what you learn, mama?
Any Jamaicans on here caught it? We did. And listen, I'm not telling you who to go vote for. You should make that decision for yourself. I'm a born and bred
Alright, we are telling people them.
comrade, okay?
This is a dumb shit about born and grow comrade. You see, politician is like fucking religion.
A little bit of green blood mixed into me. And why I say a little bit of green blood is because when my dad was in Jamaica, he was...
Alright, she obviously confused.
This is a message for Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
What kind of message you have here, ma'am? Where are you from? Are you from London, England? We the Jamaican people would like to know what kind of message you have for Andrew Holness.
I think that you need to understand that the lies that you are writing on your website...
What are the lies, my dear lady? Can you tell us here at your vibes?
would make you liable under the law. As a leader of Jamaica, I'm ashamed of. You have been the worst Prime Minister that Jamaica has ever seen.
How so, my lady? Can you please expand it and how so?
Corruption and keeping things in the family with your wife is absolutely disgusting.
Atrocious.
What qualifications do you truly have?
I don't know. He called himself a doctor. What do you have a PhD, Andrew Holness?
And your wife has to fulfill all these positions that you love to pass on to family members.
What are the position, my dear lady?
I've heard of keeping it in the family, but this is ridiculous. You as a government will be tried for genocide of the Jamaican people. You as a government will go to prison for a long, long time for misleading the Jamaican people.
What?
Be very careful, Andrew Holness.
I know.
Because when Jamaican people find out you've been lying to them and literally doing so many unlawful actions, you're going to be in very serious trouble.
What are the troubles, my lady?
Don't wait for the day until they're
Are you going to send the Prince Charles for him and put him in that new prison that they wanted to build?
all awake. Maybe they can visit you in your big house in Beverly Hills. You know, the house that you live in, your residence. You're
The one in Beverly Hills. Did he cheat you out of a investment, my lady?
Prime Minister that is so disrespectful.
Alright, go on. Alright, someone says, what am I saying about someone West Senti?
Nothing no lie. Cause I labor right now, I give me no brother. I hungry, I kill me. We can't buy a pound of flour. Nothing no lie.
Not even a pound of flour, brother. So you say a PNP you gonna?
Flour raise up, you don't have the money. But what? When the PNP party them not power, me can buy more than a pound of flour.
Southwestern and southeastern St. Elizabeth, 2 peas in a pod. But that's not just because of the legumes these farming belts produce. As far as trends go in politics, the 2 constituencies go together. For context, there have been 5 elections since the turn of the century. JLP won 3 and the PNP won 2. Each time the parties won southeastern and southwestern St. Elizabeth, they won the general election.
I lie. So we have got what St. Elizabeth? It's come September 3rd on the yard vibe, we're down it.
Voters here, they know the trend and expect the same again. Only question is, which side are they lining up on?
I think about put on my ex-citizenship, yeah.
To the Labour Party?
Yeah.
Cattle graze on the pasture lands that punctuate parts of southwestern St. Elizabeth.
Hey.
Here, a real 2-horse race is in full flow. Floyd Green, the incumbent, a St. Elizabeth
Who not vote for?
son with a national profile as agriculture minister, retains a lot of confidence and support among some voters.
Because he's the best MP I see around town right now. Yeah, there's none like him.
What are some of the things you see him the way you say, yeah man, that man really work?
Road. Sick, you're sick and talk to him, you're good. You have a little problem, you talk to him and him that.
Talk to him? When you have direct access to the Prime Minister or something? Fuck he's talking about.
But like many representatives before him, he has promised a long-term fix to their water woes. That has not come yet.
Water for wash, water for farm, water.
I want to run up and down about JLP and PNP and water for since Wapi kill Philo. Confusing.
Done that? I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. The other day, they cut ribbon down the bottom there. But 3 years from now, don't make no sense. You can't cut ribbon from now for 3 years down the line.
Madness, a trick then chicken on them really.
The Wellington, an educator, is also born and raised in St. Elizabeth. She is generating momentum. The engine of her support, Flagaman District, the place she grew up. Growing up, many of these voters were her neighbors.
Yo.
But in this case, they are not voting for Labour.
If me see it, if everybody go vote for her, you know, it's that thing Flagaman is on low. They're big area, you know. You have Truro Beach, you have Flagaman, right back down into Peter Cross, big areas. So if everybody go vote, she have him.
Unlike Southwest, Southeastern St. Elizabeth once had one of the biggest drivers of commerce in Jamaica, the Alpart bauxite plant. Its industrial operations have long halted, and with it, a lot of the related commerce.
And they might place something where it's a pollute up a blood clay place. The government should have turned it out in a green since they want Jamaica go green and a new green scam. They never start building some solar or something over there. Or run something over there to benefit the country.
Commercial activity. But those loyal to the incumbent Frank Witter says his proactivity with repairing roads has ensured some economic activity continue to thrive.
Me get me support, me not tell no lie.
And this is even though Alpart closed, because less traffic not come through now that Alpart closed?
More and more. The only time we have problem with vehicle passing, anytime the road full of patrol.
The road in the fix for years when I run about PNP and JLP.
Some young voters also line up with Mr. Witter because they're backing Dr. Andrew Holness to return as Prime Minister for a third term.
Comparing 2024 and 2025, I've seen drastic change in the crime rate.
That's because I murder them fled to Ibada when Democrat have the southern border open up. Easy to get tricked, but crime rate drop.
And that's something that I've always wanted to happen in Jamaica.
And speaking of the work of the government, some returning residents down here said they caught flights and feelings for this government based on one major metric, crime. Murders have been cut by 44%.
I can now sleep with my door open.
Mama, I hope I don't lie. You really unlock your door and sleep. Stop lying, stop our politics talk you use. Within Prime Minister use and brainwashing.
At night, I can now have my hammock under my veranda, enjoying the cool life of Jamaica, the cool living down here.
Lloyd Fang says, they pay her.
Yo, they probably did. I mean, if you know some people I get paid like $5,000 package for food. Yeah, that's funny.
But some of those wishing to see the back of incumbent Frank Witter also appeared to be taking a national view. They want the PNP in power to deliver more houses for poor people. Some are also uncomfortable with Mr. Holness's personal issues with the IC. So for them, it is also time for change. And voting for Norman Scott is the way to do so.
And I know that if this thing comes through, it will work.
Some more the PNP supporter Southeast, okay.
We see where PNP party deal with for the poor.
But others say Mr. Scott has also
Lloyd Fang says, to talk nonsense.
Yeah. Are they for the poor or they know for tricky poor?
Our time has made an impact and would make a good MP.
It's not necessarily easy for young people to just jump into farming like that, especially with how things are going modernly now. You need more investment in certain areas and we need some more help in terms of building that out. So some of the things that he has suggested to help that.
So tell all them farm funding when we there here go on millions of dollars worth of funding for farmer. I know them don't know if you apply for them already just gimmicks and jokes.
Would be very good for the community.
Like what?
So basically we have the investment fund that you will hear the General Secretary.
Okay. You see me in the point. See, I bring up this, so you know about it, so, but we here, we're going with it.
So what they will do is have a fund that will invest into farmers.
For many of these residents, their representative must come from St. Elizabeth. It is a very big deal, because someone who lives...
If you get rid of them sitting here.
Lloyd Banks says, sometime they use the poor for.
Them always use the poor. And so I name politics.
Their daily struggles, especially with agriculture and healthcare, will know why the problems are literally life or death.
If I have or my husband has a heart attack, I can't call an ambulance. Why is that? Who is going to provide?
That's why you shouldn't be affiliated to no political party. You should vote based on what you see happening in the community.
That for us, which political party will provide an ambulance?
There's just one fatality we have in Jamaica. Every day people are dead. So we need more so you can build the college that they can learn to do those things.
It rained the day our news team visited the constituencies. Not enough to quench the people's thirst for a long-term water fix. But perhaps more of a reminder that these seats historically put the weather in weather vane and will likely do so again on September 3.
Labor right now, we know, brother. I hungry, I kill me. We can't bear upon.
Alright. Oh, let me see.
Community. Labor right now.
Let me see some of them coming in there. PNP always a suffer. We don't have hands out too much.
Lloyd Banks says, I vote for a better policy.
Yeah, that's how everybody should vote. You shouldn't be put yourself to no individual party. You have neighborhoods where JLP, neighborhoods where PNP. Madness. JLP, I give a work. If you don't vote for them, you know get work. Tell her again. Bro, you know attack like them young boy yeah, nowadays want work. You know talk what, baby? Why people don't understand proper English, man? Where you get from that? Alright. What do I want to say now? What a done deuce man lie. Or done those. So you feel the price will be lowered with PNP in power? Who can ever hungry in St. Elizabeth? All my St. Elizabethians come over here, so please. Alright, Queen Marshibu. So you want grown food, Vinyam all the days of your life, kiss my teeth. That's why diabetes and cancer no stop kill you off. How much somebody is that? So this is that I wouldn't know say more KFC I kill you off more than natural food from the earth. Junk or them man. Ask the question again, a terrible, them terrible and love hands out. PNP, them lazy and love his life. Yeah, politics divide people.
The community is affecting us.
I'm not infected.
Looking on as a voter, as a Jamaican watching, I think the optics were suggesting for me that the PNP won this evening. Yeah?
I think the edge in this debate came with Mark Golding's ability to rebut, and rebut he did. I think the Prime Minister absolutely sold his record in terms of what he's been able to do for the people of Jamaica. So there's no knockout in this debate. But I did expect Mark Golding to come, having watched him through the Parliament, and I think he did exceptionally well in rebutting on some very crucial points. So for me, I definitely give the edge tonight to the leader of the opposition, Mark Golding. Catch us next week when we will come to you for the counting of the numbers on election night on the 3rd September 2025.
Me I watch it live.
Thank you to my panelists and have yourselves a good evening. I'm Emily Shields.
Alright, look on the PNP crowd here. Alright, PNP, I go on. I see JLP crowd. Think this will be a very close election if you ask me. What y'all think? That'll be close, dead heat.
Are you truly a Jamaican?
And I just wanted to just make it absolutely clear that I am indeed born here as a Jamaican. Here is my birth certificate. And it shows I was born at the University Hospital on July 19th, 1965. And it's right here. I hope your camera can pick it up. And I have a copy for you, Prime Minister, right here. And I wish you could provide me with a copy of your certification. But of
On this, the 28th of August at 11:28.
A song which says, when the rum tells you you're a big dancer. I don't know what the leader of the opposition. 65. A song.
Mr. Golding,
Dr. Holness, there is a song which says, when the rum It is indeed of
Who win tonight? Jamaica.
Can't see symptoms in our live chat. Me not lie as a JLP, more than vote for you. Me not gonna JLP again. The people girl them look better. PNP pretty girl, I don't wanna PNP fully. Let me see something.
Orange fit the doll. Green a look good so. Green a look good so. Not time. Why man? Let me.
Oh, JP Rally Crowd, look big too. Who have the most vibes?
A couple days. Let's get down into the Jamaican election leadership debate between Andrew Holness and Mark Golding.
Let's see what kind of madness them are telling following.
And let's take a psychological approach to the debate. Andrew Maslow, world-renowned psychologist, and his hierarchy of needs that get to the root of what motivates people. Biggest things that motivate people. 1, physiological. Food, clothing, shelter. 2, safety. Crime, jobs, health, finances. On those 2 biggest motivations, in my opinion, Holness nailed it. He had the data, he had the statistics, he could speak to the performance.
People use numbers to lie.
Of his party, around providing jobs, around reducing crime, around reducing the poverty.
Got me done break down most of that bullshit there in that debate.
Level, and providing homes and infrastructure. As we go further up the
A whole bunch of, what you call it, promises.
Hierarchy, when it comes to things like trust, being transparent, certainly having more of a vision for the country in terms of reform, I could see that Mark came through with some strong points there.
You know what Jamaicans should do? Everybody should vote the opposite of how they vote the last time.
He did go deep into the fact that his...
Whether you don't see no signs or improvement in your community. If you don't see any signs or improvement in your community from the last 4 years, you vote the opposite way.
Statutory declarations were certified, so he really pushed out that, and the fact that he was completely transparent and above reproach when it comes to any claim around corruption. Although Holness did come back and critique some of that commentary. The fact that Andrew could come through and claiming that he is no longer under any criminal investigation came through loud and clear.
Meanwhile, one said the investigation gone to a higher investigation community. So which is it? Is it no longer under investigation or it's under investigation?
A lot of the FinSAC and the corruption allegations that Mark came at him with, I think he did a relatively good job of deflecting those. And I think it really just shows that on both sides of the fence, corruption exists. To me, Mark came more with a lot of personal attacks. I find that on some of the questions, he never really had much of a solid response. I think he did a good job, though, coming through from a moral and a transparency perspective. But I don't know. To me, Mark never came across very personable or relatable. If I'm looking at this debate through the lens of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I would say wholeness edged out Golding
Lloyd
in
Fang
this
says,
debate, simply
court
from
case
the
on
fact
October.
that his arguments appealed
Andrew Holness court case October, so he must say the court did not dismiss. Me not understand.
more to the biggest motivations of people and voters. And I think on those issues, Holness's performance, his
Lloyd Fang
tagline,
says,
performance over
yes.
promises, I think was very impactful. It showed up in the favorability polls right after the debate. Holness went up 5 points and Golding went down 10 points. But I would love your thoughts on who you think won that leadership debate. And who you
So
think
what kind of era Portland be them the most vote one direction versus the other? Which one of them strong political alliance?
I think really spoke to the real needs of Jamaicans right now. Let's get down into the Jamaican.
Miss Giselda, tap right there so before.
A clear majority of Jamaicans now believe the Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party deserves a third term.
Bad mind left for out in the cold.
I do not think that.
What if you did him At least them have fun together and not shoot up each other. One bag of bleachers and tattoo.
My concern is, this is a message to both the JLP and the PNP.
Who is you to give message to JLP or PNP?
The job that you're being elected to do is difficult, but it is not impossible. Nobody's asking you to turn water into wine to call out. My concern is,
Your voice sound too sassy. Okay, what else?
Look after them, who will bring down crime. Peter Bunting depended on divine intervention without work. In fact, he is on record.
Alright, let's go to the YouTube. The best entertainment on earth, YouTube.
Lloyd Fang says, Portland is swing to the boat party.
Okay, then go either way. Pause. Let's see. Jamaica election. Not 2020, 2025. Okay, let's see where some of them commentary are going with. Somebody live, yeah? A prayer meeting. Alright, let's see how I'm going to Jamaica prayer meeting live. Should I add them people that are coming to me live chat?
Bless me indeed and Lord.
I don't know if the music they copyright, but I want this to link me up.
My territory. Blessed so far.
Religion and politics, the two biggest separation of mankind. Jamaica's prayer meeting for a free, fair, and peaceful election 2025. You never know, so they have a prayer meeting on the election. I want to go on.
So, Jasmine Blake Grove, is she here? She's
Shit, my bad.
bless me from where you are.
See donation button there, see trick there.
Completes in just about 5 minutes or less.
Yeah, donate to Yard Vibes on
right, if she's not here, praise and worship, get ready to minister while we give an offering. And immediately after the choir,
I run the offering play about 10 times, you know.
And we will just celebrate the goodness of God. Are you giving God thanks for this gathering tonight? Oh, tremendous, tremendous, tremendous.
Are you paying God with your wallet?
Father, bless gifts and givers. It is of thine own that we give back to thee. You promise seed time and harvest, spring, summer, and winter shall never cease. We thank you because we recognize that it's out of thine own we give back to thee. Receive our gifts as you receive our person in Jesus' name. Amen. Feel free to walk down.
They have a catch up on everybody, the funny.
Of the ushers and bless.
You see, when you about money, Jamaican church and politics, they know every technology. Look here. This day Jamaica, they have every American company. Would that be Visa, Master, American Express, Discover, Zelle, PayPal? They have every way for take in money. You know what this is? Why Jamaican government not adapt them thing? A church killer than them. They might be donation something up them knee and show you what I go on. Alright, in the meantime, what is Jamaican Debates Commission? What is it?
Using superior.
Oh, this other thing we'll watch already. Okay. What's new here? I said already about people I said.
Blessed evening.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Of the Ponzi schemes in Jamaica.
Now, people, on the day of September the 3rd, 2025, when you go to vote, make sure know the X is beside the head.
Or you just have to tell people them to put his X where you want to feel like.
Because the head.
So this already tell me say all of them opinion are gonna be biased.
0 ratings. Yeah, I mean I talk about even people in the UK, you know, who are English citizens. Want for a better phrase, white people who I speak to. Yeah. They know about Jamaican Prime Minister as it relates to his high level of corruption. They know about his, you know, court case with the Integrity Commission as well. So I mean, this look bad. This look very bad. And Jamaica, as an island in the Caribbean, an island that so many people has adopted.
Yeah, not that one.
So that you bring some money to go do what? You are police and the workers them, your workers them voting thing. People, you understand them are vote.
Yeah.
They boots up some people for vote.
So this is what I'm saying, Wayne. Is this a part of the money, the agreement, the amount of contract that awarded to Kenneth Benjamin? Kenneth Benjamin is giving no rewards as it relates to political kickback in doing
this.
Yes.
What that one?
Yeah, this is them boy contributions with all of the money that them store up and rob.
No, them up. But me ask you, brother, even if you get the contract and carry it, what Michelle Charter do with the money you saw? What shall I do with that? Bring
so the boat you buy, boss. Boat you buy them in general.
That's the ombudsman
should have done. See, that's what I meant you them wear that, you know that. Wear, me not say that clip to you.
Yeah.
No, they can't fight no vote. They make sure if you're part of your advice, the vote cannot be bought, you know.
Sandy Park. I'm going to talk to the youth about 300 youth.
Yes.
Then, so my go and pass through there and bless up the place. And you know, say, the youth them tell them go down on the JLP thing. That bull we'll take some money from this boy named Chuck. And I'll tell him, say, when we done that, bulla man, we are born him Gandhi, we are born it live and show you.
Yeah, you tell me, yes.
And you then burn him Gandhi and run him out. And we are chat about. You want to say, Aaron, to rise up the youth them in this and that.
I lie, how you rise up you them?
No, so you're there. So melting pot. Where's the pan this?
Well, this
Yeah,
brings
we're there for the advice. Hit up a live. We just want to say general public and say about the election coming up.
parking up beside Michelle Charles' constituency office. It's very suspicious and it raises eyebrow. Because what it is, if
Hit the live button if you get out the conversation.
that company that Kenny Benjamin runs is a party.
Alright, we're
And
not
the
talking
pumps
about.
them and the people them now have no water running on them pipe. The road them deplorable, the hospital them deplorable, cost of living gone, jack up high, and the people them are suffer. Do not sell your votes. You are doing yourself a disservice and you're living below your standard and your privilege. We can't stop them from getting money for sell votes, but we can talk directly to the people of Jamaica and let them know that you're selling your vote for a little bit of nothing, selling out your future, and it's a disservice to you, your children, and your grandchildren. Back over to you, Father.
Can the vote be bought? Don't make nobody buy your vote.
Right, Bulla, before you come in, Bulla.
Yeah.
Alright, Bulla before.
We don't see like in a Portland, we don't see the man them with connect like to pump valves and them spend the money. No, we see a brings. At first, we see some people say, be a face. Have a brings and feed them office. You can't discount the brings.
Brings a pull up a politician officer that go on in Jamaica. Somebody talk about the things them there.
Carry, we have to say carry some flour. You ever see Beverly and carry flour, brother?
Them need to make political donations visible too. Need to be public.
All right, you see. Well, we're there.
And it now carry a little money, $1 million. You can just put $1 million upon you. It a carry money for you.
Marcus Garvey, they tell you about them people, you know.
Yes.
Marcus Garvey.
Yes.
Marcus Garvey, they tell you about them licky people, you know.
Yes.
Saying,
I like Uncle when Marcus Garvey they tell about them people, I say.
when them back against one of them, they realize themselves, you know. But you know, our PNP don't do this. The way they call it now. I save them soul right now, you know. Yes, man like you know. Man like the people that were in the audience right now, I save enough of them soul right now, you know. Saying,
yeah, we see what going back in the church, yeah. I first me I hear say Jamaica third church you know, go on. Me hear what people are saying in live. My God.
Moving, climbing, moving up the narrow way. My God, somebody give him praise in there. Woo! Jamaica.
Get out your wallet and make sure you donate.
Jamaica land we love. God bless you. Let's receive the ministry from the choir at this time.
Be a trickery by Jamaican scene. Alright, we'll go back to the news. Kind of like nothing too much go on today. Jamaica election. Let's narrow down this.
I am your moderator.
I don't know what.
As we had spoken.
Hallelujah.
Welcome.
Are they at that table investing?
Well, I might call you a night, you know. Yeah, big up to all the people who pass through. Lion Pang and the whole crew. Join us on election day for that live stream. Yeah, we just want to go through the review of the election and see what going on, you know what I say? And everything done, so peace. Check you out another time.